Hey everybody, I'm TJ Majors, spotter of the 02 truck, the 8 Xfinity car, and the 6 Cup car. Full weekend, but not for you.
Not for me. Brett Griffin, I apologize for how much time you guys were at Martinsville to run 3 races. My next spotting adventure is North Wilkesboro, which I'm excited about. Until then, I am watching from home.
Couch racer.
No truck racing.
Dude, there's a reason I quit truck racing, and I actually did it during the race at Martinsville. And then when I was watching that rain delay on Friday night, I was like, this is why one of the many reasons why I stopped spotting trucks.
I've told Herm now. Me and Herm both in the offseason said we weren't doing trucks.
Yeah, y'all are liars.
And then we sold our souls for a price, and now we are paying for it because this has been the most miserable truck season I can ever remember.
Who drove your truck this week?
I had Brad Perez in my truck.
How'd that go?
He was really, if we could have stayed on wet tires, he might have won the race. Like he was hauling ass on wet tires for whatever reason, and then we just kind of got eaten up by.
I feel like the wet tires evened everything out, like because Chris said the truck was
we
like
can just stop calling them wet tires for now. Let's start there.
Yeah, because it wasn't wet, but like it still didn't like. They were struggling for grip, but like still under control. Like they were having to drive it, and like it was actually fun to kind of.
They
watch.
wore out. Weird.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of fun, but it went better than I expected.
Yeah. By the way, I'm Freddie Kraft.
We were wondering who you.
Like to
were.
reintroduce
I still
yourself?
spot for Bubba.
So what's this OnlyFans deal you're starting?
I don't know. Somebody suggested it on Reddit that I might.
And we're off.
We might be able to sell our.
What would your measurements be?
I don't know, but we're probably getting fired already.
I got a
48, 42, 25?
I don't even know what the
So
measurements
he's the complete
are.
opposite of that song.
What measurements are you talking about?
Yeah,
And he's
I don't know.
Are you 5'3"?
I'm going to tell you something about them songs. When I was 18, 19 years old, I was singing Baby Got Back, and I didn't realize my anaconda was not anaconda. Okay, so now that I have 2 daughters, I hear these songs from the 80s that I thought were very innocent, fun rap songs about my snake don't want none unless you got buns, hun. Now I realize that it's fucking soft porn in a rap song.
I got news for you. Some of the shit your daughters sing, and even your son, I don't know how. Like, at least they bleep out most of the words, but there's some. I remember a couple years ago, there was some Cardi B stuff that they probably didn't need to ever hear.
Yeah, I mean, even now, you should just put on
but
Kids
at least
Bop
we
and
knew
call
it was
a day.
dirty. That these songs that we grew up listening to, they had like these innuendos in them.
So 36, 24, 36. That's not.
Nope.
I thought
Measurements.
that was a lottery numbers. I mean, what the fuck?
So anyway, Martinsville's one
Yeah,
long.
guys,
Martinsville's one long narrow pit road.
Just keep on rolling at this point.
Oh boy.
All right, well, I'm Casey Boat, and of course, back from Martinsville, we already alluded to the longest truck race ever. What do y'all think of the Cup race?
Actually, it was one of the shortest truck races ever.
I mean, yeah, it depends how you look at it.
I thought the Cup race was awful.
Do you share?
basically. I mean, everybody watched it. Thought it was probably awful. I mean, did you watch it at home?
I did.
Is it boring at home as it was
Yes,
at the
and
racetrack?
according to Jeff Gluck's poll this morning, everybody agreed. Most people agreed that it was not very exciting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're gonna have a topic about it later, I think, but it was just. I mean, it's the same as last year's Martinsville races. Is what it is. It's kind of what we're locked into right now. It's the shifting. I mean, it's all there is to it. Like we saw a little bit of tire fall off, but it's the shifting. Like there's no penalty. Like you can just miss a corner, drop a gear, and take off, and you're fine.
But this is a big problem. This isn't a little problem. This is a massive problem because people get excited about Martinsville, and I get excited about Martinsville. And then you tune in, and it's follow the leader, and guys stay out there with old tires and 2 tires. And the people that are making decisions have got to wake up this morning and say, we have to make a major change. The tire's too wide. The downforce is too high. The horsepower is too low. The gear ratio is off. It is a complete miss.
I mean, this car has basically been a miss everywhere but road courses. Literally, I mean, Speedway package sucks. The short track package sucks.
I remember we thought it was really good at Charlotte, though.
Yeah, I mean, last year the intermediates were good, but the first couple intermediates we went through this year were not good. So
here's what Jeff
a
Gluck
hot
said.
slick track is the best thing.
Jeff Gluck said from 1997, mind you, until 2015. Andrew, were you even born in 1997?
No,
No. When were you born?
I was born in 2001. Pretty sure.
Oh, what a great song for the Gamecocks. From 1997 to 2015, 36 of 38 Martinsville races had double-digit cautions. Of those, 16 races had at least 15 cautions. So how do we go from that to no cautions? There were like 2 cautions yesterday.
There was 2.
Demi, do you want me to tell you?
Go for it.
Yeah, I want you to tell me.
We stick the cars to the track more where they don't barely wreck. I mean,
remember when guys used to wreck in qualifying and in practice and in the race by themselves without getting hit?
When there was a price to pay for overstepping the line.
But now you get hit and you still don't wreck.
I think your guy did it in practice in Xfinity last year, didn't he? Like,
I don't know.
Hamrick?
Daniel, 100% he did. Yeah,
like
we were fast.
I mean, fast cars, like you just overstep by a little bit and
you will hop.
You will hop and it's over. Like these cars, we had one spin. We had one. I don't know what happened to JJ. He pounded the fence in 3.
His brakes. I mean, his throttle stuck or something.
Yeah, his throttle hung.
And that was it.
Harrison Burton was a caution.
Harrison Burton,
JJ was a caution, and the tire that was sitting there.
I didn't see how Harrison went around. Was it by himself?
I don't know, but let's talk about this tire for a second. So
it's about as wide as his tire. His table.
I don't know when you pit, like in that cycle, but we were out there, so I'm just thinking like, holy, we just need a caution somehow, some way.
Oh yeah.
And I see the 78 slow down the front. He's sideways through 3 and 4. So I can't see the right side of the car, obviously, so I just assume he's got a right rear flat. So I said 78 slow, maybe have a flat, look for debris. Bubba says there's a fucking tire in the restart zone. So in my mind, I thought there's a tire carcass in the restart zone. Like I thought, 78 cut a tire, the carcass is laying there. So I go down to start telling Sacco, and Coleman, who's also looking for the same caution, Presley, he's down there going, there is a tire in the restart zone. And I'm like, what do you like? Yeah, tire carcass. I get it. So the yellow comes out because we can't see it because it was up against the wall. And no, there was an entire tire laying there for probably 3 laps.
I wrote college
you want me to tell you?
in less time than it was.
I can tell you exactly how long it was there too because I went back and timed it out.
Okay,
I saw the tire come off.
Okay,
and
how long?
We were in the middle of our pit stop. 39 seconds.
Wow.
So what was the reasoning?
Give or take.
I don't know.
Because of people who were on pit road?
I would have. So what? From my understanding, and I don't have access to this the second NASCAR channel, which they do a lot of their communications on. But it sounded like guys on pit road, the pit road officials who can look out and see the wall, because from the tower you couldn't see it. Like it was up against the outside wall, you wouldn't be able to see that. But we have corner spotters. We have a fucking flag man standing there. Now I don't know if the flag man's allowed to call. Like he just can't. Obviously, he can't just throw the yellow. It has to get directed from the tower to throw the yellow.
Okay, well, how dumb is that?
That is pretty dumb. But
so if you're in your Tuesday debrief, when they go through their race and say, what could we have done better? Don't you think you should give the people in the tower that are holding the flag an opportunity to throw a caution in the event they deem it necessary?
See something like that. That's unsafe. Like,
why do you have a flag man that can't throw a caution at his discretion?
It doesn't make any sense.
We know for a fact that he cannot throw the flag unless the tower tells him to throw the flag.
Yeah.
So why do we even have a flag man up there to start with?
Just have lights. Just flip the
we
lights.
We don't need
on.
a flag man anymore.
So I saw the tire come off. I literally saw it bounce, and I was worried when I saw it come off, and I saw the 78 start to wiggle and go up the track, and he did come down the front stretch, and you couldn't really see the right side. But I thought the tire was initially going to bounce pretty high, and somebody's going to hit it. But then I thought it was on top of the safer barrier somewhere because we were in the middle of our pit stop, so I'm hollering on the radio like, "There's a tire on the track. We need a caution." Because if you're in your pit stall and the caution comes out, you're pretty much going to cycle to the lead of the race.
Yeah.
So the 99 was going into 3 leading the race, and we're finishing the left side tires, and we were pitted in turn 1. I think we were going to be just fine. We would have not lost a lap because he came around and lapped us. So we wouldn't have lost a lap.
But I hear you, TJ, and I know how selfish we all get in the moment. But my problem is not I don't care who inherits the lead. My problem is if that tire gets hit, that tire is sitting still.
Oh, it should have been a caution no matter what.
If it gets hit at the right time or the wrong time, depending upon how you look at it, by another car, that tire is going straight up in the air. Where is it going to land?
Well, I'm going to say either it's going to go in the grandstands or it's going to go and bounce down on pit road where all the pit stalls are.
I don't.
There's not a lot of walls there.
You said 39 seconds. That's 37 seconds too long.
It's 2 laps.
It was on television.
Ran at 2 laps,
Listen,
yeah.
television put it on, and then they left. They came
Right.
back to it again. It's like they left because they were like, we don't want to burn them down here. They came back and they still didn't throw it. Like, you have people looking at monitors. You have people looking at the racetrack. Allegedly, officials were calling it in from pit road. Obviously, teams are calling it in. Drivers are calling it in. The flag man could see it or not see it. I don't know. I would think he could see
I would
it.
assume he could see it.
I mean, he's looking. You have two guys in the flag stand. One's looking at turn 4 and one's looking at turn 1. This was an epic fail.
Oh, I mean, it can't get any worse than that. I mean, I know there's been debris out there, and we've talked about on here whether it's entertainment cautions or whatnot. Like, you obviously that's race altering caution because it's in the middle of a pit cycle, but that does not matter. Like, it should
Nah, it doesn't
not
matter.
even be considered.
I mean, it killed us, but it still doesn't matter. I
Yeah,
mean,
like it shouldn't even. Be
It
doesn't
did
matter
kill
at
you,
all.
and I'm sorry for that. Like,
Yeah.
but to me, this
I'd
was,
say the same thing if I was on the other side. I mean, it's a caution no matter what.
it's a caution immediately. What is the delay for?
So Freddie, I know obviously we know what TJ was doing, but when you know that there's a tire out, there's a caution, do you guys had you already pitted at that point, or
No,
did you
we
already?
had we had kind of Bubba. We were running good. Bubba sped on pit road, and we were kind of mired back around 20th the rest of the race basically, and we were probably going to finish 15th, 20th. If 15th on a good day, 20th was more likely. So I guess they made the decision we're going to run as long as we can and hope to catch a caution, kind of like you saw like the 9 and the 34
Joey,
do
yeah.
at Richmond. And we caught the caution, luckily. So then we pit and restarted in the top 10 and ran 9th basically the rest of the race, which is another to talk about the race. Like, it didn't matter wherever you came out and struck out on restart. That's where you're going to run basically for the rest of the day. So yeah, but it was just that was just completely unacceptable. I mean, I was shocked when I heard Bubba say tire. I was like, well, I didn't think about it. Even the thought of it actually being a full-blown mounted tire never even crossed my mind because I'm like, there's no way we're running around here for 2 laps with a tire over there. And
A wheel
sure
and
enough,
a tire.
Yeah, it was a full-blown, like, just...
Oh no, I bounced off. Like,
Yeah.
I saw it. Like, it was
I was
bouncing.
surprised it actually stayed there. I mean, they got lucky.
I'm just glad it was out of the way enough. Nobody hit it.
See, so it didn't bounce
and
too
it-
far is because he was already a pretty.
What's a wheel and a tire weigh these days? 80 pounds, 70 pounds?
No, it's lighter because it's aluminum wheel, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to tell you if that thing hits you
I mean,
doing
it's-
5 mile an
yeah.
hour, it's going to knock you over.
It's gonna
hurt.
feel like it's 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Well-
know. He was in the middle of 3 and 4, so he was a pretty low speed, and he had just started to throttle up, so he wasn't carrying a lot of speed, and he just went out to the wall, and it popped off like the last half car length to the wall. It like popped off and bounced a little bit, and then I lost sight of it. So
This car at super speedways is horrible. This car at Martinsville is horrible.
Short tracks, all short tracks. It's horrible. Like, it was. I mean, Richmond was maybe one of the better Richmond races, but it still wasn't.
I thought
great.
there was-
It's only because of tire wear.
there was probably maybe a 5% improvement. I mean, there was a little bit of improvement, I think, from last year, but we need like 70.
Like, if we saw it at Richmond, we will see it at Wilkesboro. If the tires wear out, the racing will be good. Yesterday, the tires didn't wear out. Guys could, like, Ross stayed out on, I don't even know how many laps he had on his
40
tires.
40-something laps.
40-something laps. And he was able to hold on for 20. I mean, the tires made a difference after 20 laps. That a couple of guys got him, but he still cycled back.
But he
to,
went from getting lapped
Yeah.
to finishing 6th.
Look at Logano. Logano fought to stay on the lead lap.
Dude, Logano
all
got lapped.
day.
Yeah, he got
lapped. And then as soon as he cycled back to the lead, he almost, he's in position to win the race. Larson gets around him, he finishes second. But like
Stenhouse, all them.
Priest is the dominant car for the first stage, like, untouchable. Speeds on pit road at the lap, halfway through the second stage, you never see him again the rest of the day.
Hey, him and Logano were back.
Yeah.
He was better than Logano. He passed him and kept going, but but still, he was getting to 20th.
Yeah,
that was it.
15th, 20th on a good day. But Briscoe's another one that looked like he was in position to win the race. I'm assuming he lost track position on that pit cycle. Never heard from him again. It was just wherever you shook out off of pit road. And
the best cars don't always end up at the front at Martinsville, but the best drivers do.
yeah,
And now it's not the best cars are the best drivers.
No.
It's literally track
I mean,
only
Joey
car-
Logano got lapped twice, and he still ended up what?
second.
Were you,
Yeah, he
were you
finished-
taking a nap a minute ago?
No, actually, I was.
We
looking
just
at
said
something. Sorry, I was. Yeah.
Get your glove on. There's a game going on over here if you want to play.
Hey, Brett, Joey got lapped twice.
But
You guys been to Millbridge?
like you saw, and it was weird because there was no dominant car. Like, we've been years past, like Jimmy Johnson wore us everybody out at Martinsville, or like the only guy that was noticeably deep. Like at one point yesterday, Bowman, I'm like, this guy's going to lap the field. Like, he was driving through the pack, passing cars,
He
and all of
took
a
off in
sudden
the
he just
beginning.
disappeared. Like, the sun
Yeah.
came out, never saw him again.
He took
Denny
off.
drove up to the lead. I'm like, oh, Denny's going to kick our ass here.
They changed louvers during the pit stop, I think.
Denny goes back. The only car that I know was noticeably great all day was, I think, the 4, and then they had a wheel
got
fall
stuck,
off.
yeah.
You know, so
They had a wheel break.
where it was out. Bubba said, but it was weird because Bubba, we came off a 4 and Bubba said, go find Josh. I think their lug nut just flew off. And I was like, what? Because we were behind Laney.
Yeah.
He's like, we got off a 4. I saw a lug nut fly off of something. He's like, I think it was a 12, but it was the 4 right in front of the 12, I guess. But Bubba saw it right there. On
No
the 4,
lug nut and the wheel separated. So I don't know what they never really said.
That's
what
another
happened.
guy that I really expected more of. Normally it's Truex, Blaney.
He started deep. He
Yeah,
was
but I
actually
mean-
decent. All the Penske cars were. I mean, Joey was getting lapped. The 2 was, I mean, terrible.
The 2
Like
got sent early on. I don't know if it messed his car up, but the
No, I
43
don't think
sent.
No, it was bad.
It was
Was it?
Yeah, it was pretty bad all week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you know this.
Joey Logano.
No,
Got left
based off of.
Did Joey Logano ever get lapped?
So sorry, guys,
Millbridge.
I was
At
literally
Millbridge, you
looking
did.
at something Andrew sent me. Sorry.
To answer your question, Logano finished second.
Yeah.
So whatever, Andrew. I don't know if you guys know this because NASCAR didn't really publicize it, but Chase Elliott was back this week.
I didn't hear that.
I couldn't tell. I mean, what did you all think? I saw a ton of comments about how it was a little. I mean, they had a whole TV spot for Chase Elliott. What did you all think?
I can say that if I was NASCAR, I would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, why
because the
wouldn't you?
week that Chase Elliott took off, we lost 500,000 viewers
Yep.
and hadn't gotten them back. And we'll see what this numbers look like. We were literally down 500,000 viewers every
Yeah.
week since Chase Elliott's been out. So if I was NASCAR, I would have ran more commercials. I would have been the Chase Elliott Cup Series this week for all I was concerned.
I mean, they ran it through pre-race.
And you know what? Chase was 15th, 20th, like all day, maybe, and then he did a deal at the end and ended up top with a top 10.
He
so.
was really good at the end.
Yeah.
Like he was better than
He
us.
did a
but
good
he
job,
couldn't
yeah.
pass us.
We were down 16%, potentially because of one guy. If that's the case, you better get some more guys. And I think that's the problem with the ratings. There's so many things wrong with our sport from a ratings perspective. My number one thing is these stage breaks. I love them because they pay points. I hate them because they change the flow of the race. Like yesterday, the end of stage 1, Logano got lapped. Ross, the Hell Melon guy, is about to get lapped. Like people are actually starting to pass 80 laps into this race, and we throw a caution and we stop the race. But when you have Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Casey Kane, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, I could keep going. Those are all Hall of Fame guys, superstars in one race. You have a lot of eyeballs watching the race. Tell me who your superstars are right now. I don't mean any offense to these guys that are buckling in every week. They're even the ones that are listening right now. But who are your legitimate superstars in the race right now? Because I've always been of the belief that the 80-20 rule applies. 80% of the fans pull for 20% of the drivers, which is an old marketing term. Who are our 20% of the drivers, which would be roughly 6 guys? Who are our 6 biggest guys? And are they equivalent to the ones I just said?
Yeah. Well, no. But like, here's what I don't understand. I like Chase. There's nothing against Chase. What the hell does he do to be a superstar? Because his personality, like, do you ever see a personality out of Chase Elliott? Like, what is he doing to garner? Like, I think there's way more personality out of a guy like Denny or Harvick that I would have thought people would gravitate towards more. But Chase is just a name, and people, that's all that.
I mean, he's been the most popular driver for how many years
Kevin
now?
Harvick was more popular 10 years ago than he is now because Kevin Harvick had a personality 10 years ago, and now he doesn't either.
Yeah. But I mean, what do you do? Because what is Chase doing? Like, what is
Kevin Harvick comes out with a personality last year. He comes out with a T-shirt making fun of parts. Happy crappy parts or whatever his T-shirt said. I don't
I'm sure
remember,
he
but it
sold
was
a
funny.
gazillion of them.
But the next week he got in trouble.
Yeah.
So you think he's going to make another T-shirt?
Well, that's the thing. Like we talked about this last week. You know, these guys can't be themselves. Like, why you can't even be honest with anybody because
I'm just
you're going to
bringing
get
up
a
a
penalty.
point. Y'all can figure out how you want to. I'm telling you right now, if one guy is bringing 16 to 17% of your ratings, you better go get some more guys.
But how? How do you get more guys?
Don't find them $50,000 for saying they wrecked somebody on purpose, maybe.
But I mean, that goes back to even what it takes to become.
Actually, not even 50 grand, 50 points. What was it?
25
points,
50,000.
75 grand.
No, I think it was
50 grand.
50,000, 25 points.
So looking at the up and coming drivers, is there anybody that you envision being the future?
There's a bunch of guys I said. Here's the weird part about life right now. My little boy is 10 years old. He's a decent athlete. He loves sports. I cannot get him to watch a broadcast of anything. It doesn't matter if it's a race. It doesn't matter if it's MLB, NFL, NBA. It doesn't matter. He will get in my car, and instead of watching a live sporting event on my iPad, which he can do because of technology, he watches other people play video games. That's how weird this world is. So instead of watching a NASCAR race, which I would have been doing at 10 years old, instead of watching NFL, he's watching TJ play NBA on an Xbox.
Well, he's going to be
And I'm
sadly
like,
disappointed.
What the are you doing, kid? Like this, and so this. So when you say, how do we grow our fan base? Well, I don't know. How do you get my 10-year-old to watch the race instead of watching other people play a video game?
I'll tell you how you don't do it is by prohibiting him from going to the racetrack for 5 hours or going to the garage for 5 hours yesterday.
Oh man, I hate even. I'm pissed off you even brought that up. So I wanted to take Bodie to the racetrack.
I'm really
yesterday.
glad I don't know what you're talking about.
I do, and
I wanted to take Bodie to the racetrack yesterday. Okay, I've never had the opportunity to take Bodie to the racetrack, and that's a true story. People say, "Well, yeah, you could take him anytime." Listen, Bodie went to the racetrack when he was a kid, and he would go to Elliot's bus, and he would hang out with Elliot's kids. Elliot would take him on pit road, get his picture made. Boom, off he goes. He never went with his dad to the racetrack because I was working. I worked before the race, I worked during the race, and after the race, I haul ass. Okay, so I decided this weekend I was going to take Bodie to Martinsville. And I pulled the schedule out, and it says minors prohibited. Well, I was like, surely, and I'm not looking to be privileged, quote, privileged, right? But I'm like, surely that doesn't mean someone with a hard card, i.e. me, can't take their child, i.e. Bodie, into the racetrack for a couple hours to hang out. Because in an ideal world, get him there at 1 o'clock, let him tool around the infield, let him see some drivers, let him look at race cars. You know, at 2:30, we go up in the stands, we watch the start, we watch stage one. If he gets bored, we leave. If he doesn't get bored, we stay for the whole thing. But I could not take him into the pit area or garage area. So guess what? We didn't go.
Yeah, and that's, you know, obviously getting a hot pass isn't for everybody. Like, you can't just go buy a hot pass. But, like, then this Bodie's, what, 10, 11? This is for any minor. So you got a 17-year-old kid that gets a hot pass. He's not allowed to walk.
It's the same for Bristol, I believe, too,
yeah.
because of...
And it's short track stuff because
Yep.
there's no cold passes. But, like, I don't get it. Like, we need to grow the sport. We need to attract younger fans. But now, like, why would a sponsor bring his kid? You know, we also need sponsors, obviously. Sponsors can't bring their kids in. Like, it's just... that doesn't make any sense to me.
We ran into it last year with a sponsor.
And especially like the timing was like 10-3, I think you said, right? Something like that. Like, so they're allowed in there after 3 while the race is going on?
No,
Like,
definitely not. No.
So when are they supposed to get the chance to see their drivers and you know what I mean? Like,
Man, I told Freddie, you know, and when he and I were talking about this, I was like, man, I would open that gate at start-finish line, and I would let whoever wants to come on that racetrack before the race come on the racetrack. Would I let them in the garage? No. Would I let them on pit road? No. But would I let them on the racetrack?
Yeah.
100% I would.
Didn't
because
they-
the cool
I
thing
think they do that.
they do that.
Well, they're good. They should, because
Yeah.
from there you can literally see everything. But they shouldn't be petitioned off. They should be able to go wherever they want on the racetrack.
Yeah, they open up for I believe the whole front stretch. I'm sure they probably block it down in 1 or something like that. But
Yeah.
they do open it up because there's a lot of
They
fans
should.
at the gate.
They should. But we've got to figure out how, and this is as a sport, we got to figure out how to have superstar mainstream status guys. And right now we don't have any. As big as Chase Elliott is in our world, he's not big in any other world. And when our biggest driver in the sport, whether it be Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, you know, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., I mean, I could keep going. Whoever the generational guy was, they were mainstream. People were putting them in songs. They were putting them in music videos. They were putting them in Saturday Night Live skits. We're not there right now. And we as a sanctioning body, which we aren't the sanctioning body, they are the sanctioning
Thank
body.
God.
They, as a sanctioning body, have got to figure out how you grow back into mainstream, because for whatever reason, we're not right now.
No.
Did y'all see who won yesterday?
What?
in the draft. Tony won, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he won.
Yeah. How,
Oh, he did?
dude?
Yeah.
How
Tony
badass-
Stewart won an NHRA race?
Yeah. How bad is that?
Is he driving a funny car? What's he
No,
driving?
he's running like top alcohol or something like that.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
like-
still,
it's-
man.
It's one of the lower ones, but still, it's pretty impressive.
Dude, everything he gets in, just like he's one of them guys that can go from car to car. And
You know, of course, it's Tony Stewart. I think he's one of the greatest drivers to ever do it. Like, probably top 5 in my opinion. But one thing I did, it seems to me, and that just could be coincidence. It could, like, you don't see Tony around the racetrack much anymore with Stuart Haas, and it feels like his involvement over there is dwindled in the last couple of years when he started this deal. That could be a result. Obviously, they were pretty good yesterday, but they have been down the last couple of years, and I don't know if that's a direct relation to that.
I feel like Tony kind of got his feelings hurt when they pulled Eldora off the schedule because he started or was a part of starting SRX.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like all the timing is like SRX starts. We don't renew Eldora as a truck race. Tony Stewart disappears from NASCAR.
Yeah.
But obviously he's doing some TV stuff with us
Knoxville,
now.
Bristol Dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is at he will be on TV this weekend for the broadcast, which I think is a good thing. I think he brings a lot to those things. I don't remember how many times he won Daytona and rode an Xfinity car. It was like 4.
Yeah.
But
I
he's
feel like every time he got into the Xfinity
It was
race,
he was
won.
yeah.
yeah.
It's an
pretty
Oreo
much.
car. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
he was
remember
fine.
when I first started spotting for Dale Jr., we went to Daytona. The Busch race was always
What was your first year spotting Dale Jr.?
well, I did the last 10 races at DEI, so whatever. Was that 07, 06, 07-ish?
I don't know.
One of them. I don't remember. But were you born yet, Andrew?
I was born in 07, yeah, by that time.
How old were you?
2.
Like 6.
Yeah.
But
Were
yeah,
you watching NASCAR yet?
No, I wasn't.
No. What were you doing at 6 years old?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever 6-year-olds do.
Yeah.
If you don't remember being 6 now, you damn sure ain't gonna remember when you get my age.
what was your cartoons when you were little?
36.
Like Disney shows.
I don't know any
Nickelodeon.
shows.
Dude, the Jetsons
Yeah.
and the Flintstones were.
Hannah
No,
Montana.
that's way before. Oh, no, you didn't know who they are.
I did see the Smurfs are still a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they're
I just saw that. You knew who I saw?
Oh, God.
See?
I
Oh,
feel
no,
like
else
you
I
guys are
saw
fucking me.
the little construction guys in the background.
Yeah.
I saw them like, what show is that? And they're like, that was Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
remember
Yeah, and I
that
saw
one.
these
never
little
liked
construction
Fraggle Rock.
guys.
I liked He-Man. He-Man
He-Man.
was a great cartoon.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. You ever heard of He-Man?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it though.
Yeah.
one more topic. Brett, did you watch pre-race
Millbridge?
by chance yesterday?
Pre-race?
No chance.
Not
Yes.
enough to be able to give you any content.
There was a segment on Hendrick and how Martinsville is just such an iconic track, and they did a reenactment of Rick Hendrick and that time frame of when they were about to shut down before they won that last race or that race years ago now. But I was really impressed with how Fox, put the fan like kind of in that time to see what they went through. I don't know how often they do that, but I still think about that one segment because it was really cool.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, it was awesome to see how.
Who won the race that was impactful?
Oh my gosh, it was
I didn't watch any pre-race.
I can't remember that
So-
segment.
Joey Logano was 2 laps down, though. You know
And he
that.
finished
Shut up.
second.
All right, let's get into spot on, spot off.
A lot of twos in that.
Don't
A
matter.
lot of twos in that sequence.
Hey, this is from 15 minutes ago, but the with all the numbers added up, a Cup Series tire weighs 48 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
48.
I still don't
Way
want to
less
get
than
hit
it
by
used
it.
to.
I still don't want to get hit by it.
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by it rolling.
How much does Bodie weigh right now?
68 pounds.
Yeah,
soaking
imagine
wet.
if he just cannonballs onto you.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't be as heavy as that tire would.
I'm just saying, you're still gonna.
You're right. But that tire coming at you at 60 miles an hour, holy.
I remember
Bodie can't go at you 60 miles an hour.
There's a Ron White skit about hurricanes, and it's like the guy's making fun of a guy that's out in a hurricane. He's like, "It's not that the wind is blowing; it is what the wind is blowing."
Yeah, it's gonna hit you.
He said,
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, you could withstand a 100-mile-an-hour wind, so you could hit in the head with a street sign."
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
imagine a garbage
Exactly.
can. Imagine a garbage can lid cleaning you out. I mean, that would take you out. All right, Casey, you can go now.
First topic, Ronnie Childers, among other industry members, calls for more than one off week in the 38 race NASCAR season, and I am 100% spot on. Freddie.
Well, unfortunately, we can't talk about this because all I read is that how privileged we are to have our jobs, and we should be
says that?
thankful. Every person, I
know what you're about to say.
tweeted about this, and I just got, oh, you're lucky to have your job. You shouldn't complain. You should try my schedule.
Oh, I'm sure their schedule's harder than mine. Fuck off.
Listen, there's people that listen. Here's the deal. Fact is, my schedule's not hard. Like, it's not hard. But I still want more than 1 week off between February 15th and November 5th. Like, we literally have 1 weekend off. And like I said, my schedule is pretty wide open during the week. I got some meetings I got to go to. I tool around with Couch Racer maybe here and there and do this podcast. That's what my weekly schedule is. But
so you have a lot of time to give me some stickers.
And as soon as we just got to get Brett to read text in the morning, we can get that done. But the road crew guys,
You guys aren't priority in my life, if y'all didn't know that.
we know.
We know.
Yeah, we're down there with truck racing.
So
Neither is truck racing.
That's what I'm saying.
we
TJ and truck racing are one and the same. Truck and TJ.
Okay, then. Freddie. keep
Freddie
going.
wants more weekends off.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? Like, it's just, I don't know. You interrupted me so many times, I lost my
The
train
road
of
crew.
thought.
So the road crew,
Like
the
the road
guys
crew
that are always
guys-
at the shop.
Explain to me this. Would more people want to go to a race on Father's Day or Mother's Day?
Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Why do we have Father's Day off and we race on Mother's Day?
Thank you.
I don't.
Why do we race on Easter?
Not,
Yeah,
not
why do we
one
race
time
a
did I
dirt
wake
track
up,
on Easter?
Not one time did I wake up my 47 years of living with my mom and be able to be like, Mom, you want to go to the racetrack for Mother's Day? I would love to take Bodie to the racetrack on Father's Day, but we're.
It's just like
boy.
to get back to schedules. Like,
I love Darlington.
I'm just not gonna. I guess I'll just stop talking.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brett,
Freddie, I love
do we need to
Darlington.
raise your? Can you just raise your
If he would hurry
hand?
the up and make a point, I would let him.
I can't talk.
Freddie, would you like to go first?
No, I'm good.
I do love Darlington though.
What the
We
f- Darlington
know.
got to do with it?
Because we race there on Mother's Day.
Okay, great.
Okay, Freddie, what were you talking
Nothing.
about?
I wasn't talking about nothing.
TJ, spot on,
Welcome
spot
to the
off.
Brett Griffin Hour.
I would
Whatever you need,
definitely-
Brett.
Per usual.
I was off
I would,
last week. I got a lot to say.
We know.
I'd kind of like the Olympics to come back during the summer.
That's what I said. I put that in my notes. Like, that was the best year ever. Was 2
I mean,
weeks off.
honestly, I was like 2 in a row. And then by the end of that second weekend, you're ready to go back to work. And it was a good break. It was like, okay, I'm off this again. And then beginning of this week, what am I going to do this weekend? It was so weird. I mean, you remember it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it was weird, but honestly, it was kind of nice.
So, Brett, different take. We know some of the reasons why NASCAR has so many race weekends. We run throughout the year. We're their longest season of any sport. What can be changed, or what do you think would help make things better when it comes to the financial part of it, the marketing, the sponsors? Obviously, we know why of certain cases, but what can we do to fix it?
We're a 38-week schedule.
Right.
Okay, 36 pay points. The other 2 are exhibitions. I don't care for the exhibitions anymore. I feel like when you look at the NFL, their 4 preseason games are to get players an opportunity to prove they belong on the team, and they're there to kind of get fans excited the season's coming. I feel like we can just dive into the Daytona 500 and almost do better. So if we were a 36-week schedule, I would say we race 10 weeks, we take a week off. We race 10 weeks, we take a week off. We race 6 weeks, we take a week off, and then we do a 10-run week for the playoffs. So that would give us 3 weekends off over the course of 39 weeks, right? I think that would be pretty cool. But I still think when you look at the holidays, and listen, I had people tweet at me this last week, we don't care about Easter. Okay, well, I don't care that you don't care about Easter, because I live in the South, and then Easter is a big deal in the South. There's a lot of Baptist and a lot of Presbyterian and a lot of Methodist people that Easter is one of the biggest weekends of the year to be a family and to do things with their family. And when you race in Bristol, Tennessee, which, oh, by the way, is in the South, you're asking for everybody to forfeit their Easter Sunday and their Easter weekend to come to the racetrack. I'm telling you right now, I don't care if Bristol's dirt. I don't care if it's concrete. I don't care if it's asphalt. I don't care if they paint it purple. People don't care. It's Easter weekend in the South. I'm not. If you want to go race somewhere else and try it on Easter weekend, then by all means go and see if you can sell out Phoenix or Fontana or Sonoma or Texas or wherever the hell else we can go. But I'm telling you right now, to race in the South on Easter weekend is the dumbest shit we do all year.
Do you think that would also help with ratings overall?
I don't know, because people are at home on Easter with nothing to watch. So from a ratings perspective, and I saw Ben Kennedy's comments about, this was part of the big makeover of the schedule, and this is part of us trying new stuff and going new places and blah, 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 putting dirt on racetracks. So, what else is on? The Masters. Are race fans and golf fans one and the same? In general, I say no. But the Masters is like the Daytona 500. People are going to watch it that are not golf fans. So I don't know the answer to the question. But here's the thing: if you don't, I feel like we're to the point where people like Rodney should be able to take a few weekends off. If the schedule sucks and you only get one weekend off, and listen to me, the schedule sucks, we only get one weekend off. We should be to the point that if TJ wants to take 3 weekends off with his family, he should be able to line up a spotter of equal caliber and be able to do that. Same for Rodney. They should be able to build enough depth, because if the starting forward, Dennis Rodman, point blank, Michael Jordan said it. Dennis Rodman, point blank, said, I'm taking a few games off. And he went to Vegas. And he missed a week of basketball games. Well, somebody had to play. So in our sport, these teams should be able to get enough depth to keep Rodney happy, because Rodney at some point is going to say, I've had enough of this shit. I ain't doing this next year, which is what happened to me last year. It was Easter weekend on the roof at Bristol when I came on the show on Monday, and I said, I'm telling y'all right now, I won't be at Bristol Dirt Track on Easter next year. Guess what? I wasn't. So at some point, the teams have to get enough depth to be able to keep people, I don't literally mean like me, but like me, who have a lot of experience, who would love to keep racing, but I'm not going to do it with this schedule. It's too hard. But I didn't know fans said we were privileged, Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you just block everybody who says that.
Yes, he just they're not on his timeline anymore.
Got it.
You good? You got most of your stuff out now?
No, if you start talking, I'm probably going to talk.
That was about 10 minutes of you, but yeah, I don't listen. It's just the fact that we run 20 consecutive weeks to end the season, I think, is outrageous. The fact, why don't we have a week off at least before the playoffs start to build momentum to the playoff? We just roll into the playoffs and it's just another week essentially. Obviously, they do some media stuff, but it would be nice to have a week for the teams themselves. And what I was getting ready to say is early, my schedule's not hard. The spotter schedule, if you're not working in the shop guys, they have Monday off. That's it, I think. And that's probably not guaranteed every week if they got to hustle and do some other stuff. So these guys are working Tuesday to Thursday, probably nonstop. They probably have Friday off for a travel day. Or they're at the racetrack working, probably. They might have Thursday off for a travel day. But this, to not even give these guys a chance to catch their breath before the biggest 10 races of the year just seems ridiculous to me.
Those moments where Rodney has kids, he's probably
to Brett's point, there is some teams that do that. I think is the 11 team gives all their guys a week off. I know Lambert took one off last year to go, I forget it was Sonoma. There's enough road courses on the schedule where you should be able to, we should be able to take a week off. They're not to diminish our jobs, but some of the road courses stuff, we don't really need to be there. COTA, we're doing one turn. The main spotter, the primary spotter is doing one corner at COTA. But to your point, there are guys we see these crew chiefs get suspended all the time, and they're, they seem to, the Hendrick didn't really miss a beat. They have great guys, Kevin Meandering, their engineering staff over there, they can jump right in and seem not skip a beat. So, yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. There should be more than a week off across 39, 40 weeks, whatever it is for the year.
Moving on, the NASCAR and IndyCar races overlap this weekend, with each race starting within 30 minutes of each other. Spot on, spot off, TJ.
Oh, I'm spot off still. I'd like to see him separate a little bit. I didn't get to see any of the IndyCar race, but I saw who won. Kind of a surprise winner. I think it was Kyle Kirkwood. So I actually did a 24-hour race with him a couple years ago. But
so you paved his way to success.
Yeah,
basically.
right in there. Yeah,
just like Dale's.
Yeah, definitely. He was holding
Dale
me
Jr.
back.
definitely wouldn't have made it.
He held me back. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it'd be nice to split it up a little bit.
I don't care as a NASCAR fan, as an IndyCar fan. I'm spot off, because why would you take people who like racing, like myself, who would casually tune in?
Yeah.
And I do casually tune in. Do I catch every IndyCar race? No. Do I watch the Indy 500? Yes. Do I know who the Kirkwood guy is? No. But maybe if you didn't run the race right in the middle of the NASCAR race yesterday, I would have casually tuned in or followed on Twitter or something, and you would have piqued my interest. But where were they even at? They were somewhere cool,
California.
right? Yeah. So, I mean, for me, this is a miss for IndyCar and whoever their network partner is, because you miss an opportunity, to have our industry talking about your race, because our drivers do watch. They do engage social media as it's going on. So
Race fans all watch. If there's racing on, you're watching it.
There's very few things that Roger Penske does wrong. So I don't know how I could sit here and say he's wrong in this, but he's wrong in this. But Freddie's more upset about something else, I think.
Oh, I was saving that for my one idiot, because I knew you were gonna. I'll save that for later. But my notes were exactly the same as yours. Like, first of all, I don't care. Like, that's their problem. You know, they why are they going against us? Like, they would be us expecting to go at 1 o'clock on a Sunday in the fall and beat the NFL. Like, it's just not going to happen. So at the present, like the NASCAR side, who cares? It's just they just swing.
But I mean, there might be. I'm just thinking on the other side here. There might be things with the street course, they have to be done by a certain time or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. I would have liked to have watched it. Like you said, if you're a race fan, you tune into all sorts of like different things, whatever's on. And I saw one of the better IndyCar races at Texas. Those guys were saving fuel. We were sitting at Richmond, and we weren't. It was perfect. We were watching the IndyCar race, and those guys were. It was a great race at the end there when they were saving fuel, trying to pass each other and stuff.
I don't remember what year they went to Fontana, like maybe 2012 or something. It was the best race I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking of all the thousands of races I watched. It was the best. I was sitting in a bar just mesmerized by how great it was, and all the drivers got out saying, "We'll never do that again. It was too dangerous."
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Damn, that was awesome.
Dude, you know how fast that speedometer reads for. Remember when he used to read the cup speeds?
You can't read speedometers anymore because they're blurred out on the in-car camera.
Well, how about an IndyCar in the one? What do you think that screen was saying? No thanks.
That probably didn't work. It didn't register.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an awesome race. Anyway, IndyCar, what are you thinking?
What are you doing?
Never know what they're doing.
We're going to mention IndyCar again today.
Oh, I can only imagine. Moving on. NASCAR's SVP of competition, Elton Sawyer, says they're
SUP?
Did you just say sup?
I said SVP. I said SVP. Seriously,
I said SUP.
NASCAR's SVP of competition, Elton Sawyer, said there were a lot of things that we learned. I thought the way we executed getting the wets on, that worked out well. After the truck race started with wet weather tires, making it the first oval race to start with this tire compound. Spot on, spot off. Freddie, you clearly already have your hands up.
The only thing that was executed well was the guys actually putting the tires on the trucks. That was about it. Like, this was a joke. I don't know. I have so many thoughts about this. I have so many notes.
Start.
First of all, it worked out well because we ran wet weather tires on a dry racetrack. Like, what was going to go wrong there aside from the tires wearing out, which happened? The track was literally, I sent Brett a picture as we were going green. I would say the track was
dry.
90% dry. It probably would have took another 15, 20 minutes to just run a jet around.
If we had
there
a choice, I would have started on slicks.
If they gave the teams a choice and told the drivers to go out there and check the track, would you think you want to run tires, slicks, or they would all run slicks. Every one of them would have said, well, we're going to run the slicks. So this whole deal, I don't know. We talked about it here before. We looked like we had no idea what we were doing. Throw the wets on there. Okay, we run 20 laps. After about 5, the track was 100% dry, but we just ran 20, I guess probably to just say we did it. And then we throw a caution, come down pit road. Pit road's still soaking wet, so we have a non-competitive pit stop, which I think was right. Then we run another. That I think by the time we were done with all that, there was 7 or 8 laps left in the stage. So we burned about 15 laps there somehow. Then we start to stage 2. The yellow comes out. We're in starting stage 2. We run 16 laps under caution while we dry pit road.
That was bad as a viewer.
16 of 50. So we're just riding around, wasting time. Then it starts raining again. Thank God it stopped, so we didn't have to come back the next day because we wasted so much time. Like, there's so many different alternatives to this. First of all, if we have wet weather tires, let's try running them in the wet. Like a crazy idea. I don't know. Like, go out there, take 2 passes around the track with the Tundras, blow the standing water off, and let's go racing. Like, why are we drying the track 90% of the way and then saying, all right, let's fire these wets on here and have at it, boys? Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, we could have saved 30 minutes there, or we could have saved 30 minutes later if we just dry the track. Just take 10, 15 more minutes, a couple laps with the damn jets, dry the racetrack the rest of the way, and go green with the slicks and not have to worry about non-competitive. I think we were going to have non-competitive pit stops, and I think they should have. I think at the end of that stage, they should have said, okay, we just did this. We just had an entire race with non-competitive pit stops in Texas. They just, hey, here's the yellow. Guys, pit road is wet. It's unfair for some guys. Some guys' boxes are underwater. Some guys aren't. We're going to continue with non-competitive pit stops till we get this pit road straightened out. But instead, we ride around for 16 laps.
Are you done yet, Brett?
What the hell are we doing?
I mean, damn.
Well, somebody's got to talk because I know you're not going to.
I, on the other hand,
And Brett wasn't there.
Trust me, I was there in spirit.
I do think
He'll still have something to talk about.
One good thing about the rain was it gave me a chance.
There's nothing good about the rain.
Well, if you would shut up for a second.
Brett?
One good thing about the rain was it gave me a chance to fire up my Dirt Vision app, and I got to watch the Outlaws practice and qualify and then some heat race stuff, which was entertaining because I-55 is a great racetrack.
It is a great racetrack.
Not, you sorry yet? I mean,
I don't know. I'm never sorry. I promise you that.
I do think there's a lot of adjustments. I don't think it was a complete failure. I think there was a lot of adjustments. We could have probably started earlier.
You don't think that was a complete failure?
I think we learned a lot. I mean,
What did they learn?
I would much rather have it that way than go into turn one and barrel 15 trucks into each
Would
other
we
and
have done
crash.
I
Have
mean,
you seen
it's-
Coda?
it's
We do it in the dry. We can do it.
happened before.
We can do it in the wet.
That's a hell of a statement.
I definitely feel like we could. There's the pit road thing. The pit road thing can definitely just stay wet and have competitive stops, or not competitive stops. So
Yeah.
but it definitely feel like we could have went 30 minutes earlier than what we did. But
How do you like the mud flaps?
they're great. I ain't got muddy. So
Like, I mean, what the hell's going on with these things? Like, John Hunter just burned his car to the ground.
The
'cause
track?
the track, everything. Like, he texted me
Isn't
yesterday.
that
He's
the
like,
second one?
he's like, man, don't kill me about this burnout deal. I was like, man, I loved it. I thought it was great optics. I'm sure that JGR's upset you burned a car to the ground.
I
and Clay
think the
Campbell's,
best was the fact that he had the sponsor that was putting out the fire.
That was pretty.
Any other time the car's on fire, they can't wait to get out.
He's
And when
just
they
like
cause a
rolling
fire,
it back.
they're like, "Oh, it's fine. My car's on fire."
I mean, it used to be where the guy would do a burnout. Sometimes there would be a little bit of tire rubber there burning, and it would go out pretty quick. Now we can just engulf
I
these.
think we just
burn 'em
maybe
down.
take those off.
I'm spot on for the fact that we had an opportunity to start the race sooner because we had a wet tire option. I'm spot on for the fact that we did it with it dry. I'm spot on for the fact that we had a second and a half of tire fall off while this tire was on the car. And I almost think we should have run that tire the rest of the
That's
race
what I was thinking.
instead of running the slicks, because it was a better race with the freaking wet tire on, even when it was dry, than when we went to the slicks. And everybody, kind of did what they do there. So the truck series in general, I don't think we need live pit stops anymore in this series.
Hey, I got an idea. Why
Well,
don't we just run rain tires in the cup cars all the time?
that'd be fine. That's what I'm saying.
Something, anything.
We had tire fall off. We had passing. We
Anything
had some
that
strategy playing out. So, but I don't know that I ever need to see another live pit stop in the truck series. And if you're a tire changer or a jack man or whatever, I'm sorry if that takes money out of your pocket. But at the end of the day, with these races, I don't think we need them.
Yeah, I mean, they literally just had I didn't watch the race in Texas, but I mean, if anybody watched the race in Texas, did it take away from the product on the racetrack that there was no live pit stops out there? And listen, I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but Saturday night or Friday night, the pit road was not fair. It was unfair. There was water running out of the wall to some boxes, not others.
Yeah, there was
So,
a lot of water.
like when you have a situation like that, I mean, we are riding around there for 16 laps trying to dry it off instead of just saying, "Hey guys, we're going to come down pit road, non-competitive pit stop. You're off pit two laps and you're back racing again." But it
A
just,
dry box is definitely better than a wet box.
well, I don't think I agree with that.
Oh my God. I'll read one text message and leave you idiots alone for 10 seconds.
I just think it would be easier to put on dry tires.
Yeah,
in a
I mean,
dry
there's
box
nothing great about a
versus
long,
wet
narrow,
tires in a wet box.
nothing worse than a long, narrow, wet pit road. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean, changing wet tires in a wet box is That's hard. You can't. It's not hard if it's dry box with dry tires. With 5 nuts.
You mean it's difficult?
5 lug nuts.
Let me get this straight.
It's a lot of math,
We hit
Freddie.
hard
probably should move on.
Nuts, wet box.
I'm just bringing up a point about these tires and the boxes.
I'm just trying to follow.
And the rubber and the nuts, the lug nuts. Just bringing a point out. It's just a
about
biological question.
Sam Mayer, huh?
What's the next topic?
We covered it all. I think I have bingo.
This is where Sam Mayer got punched by
Sam Mayer was giving people the finger on that topic.
Oh, is that a dry box?
Oh, we're gonna get canceled.
Thank y'all for listening. It's been a great run.
Yep, here we go again. Some dude, the timeline's gonna say, was driving down the highway home from work, almost crashed my car, laughing.
I hope we don't cause any accidents. I'd feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, spot on.
It's innocent questions. That's all I ask.
Spot on, spot off. Sam Mayer gives Ryan Truex.
Oh,
The
God, you can't say that.
Sam.
He gave him the bird.
The dude funny.
Oh God.
Sam Mayer. I got it.
And you said you want to quit, Brett?
I'll get out hard.
Sam Mayer.
Spot on, spot off. Sam Mayer gives Ryan Truex the bird during the Xfinity Series race and went on to say, I can't say anything bad about Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, so I'll just keep it to myself. Brett, spot on, spot off.
Spot off. Why can't he say anything bad about him? What's he scared of?
He's getting black
boss.
eyes.
Probably getting beat up again.
Oh, that's true. He got his beat. Who beat him up?
Ty.
Then Jesus.
Baby Jesus.
What a disaster.
Of a show?
Sam Mayer.
I don't know what happened. We were doing pretty good. We took a hard left somewhere.
Anytime we bring a pit road. Anytime.
Oh.
Poor Sam. Sam's got to stop wrecking and getting wrecked.
Well,
this
that
time he
really
got
wasn't.
wrecked.
Yeah, that really wasn't his fault. I mean, I don't know. If the
Who
hair
spots for Sam Mayer?
Hamlin.
Kevin Hamlin?
Yeah. Did you see the wreck?
No, I didn't see this one.
They were too wide, and Sam was passing somebody, and Ryan Truex got it. He did one of them things where he goes way down the inside of the front stretch.
Just rammed him.
You know how it narrows up when you get to the corner, and the guy in the third lane, he doesn't run the third lane on entry, so they just all kind of meet. But it's forced. I mean, it's like turn 1 at Indy. You know the guy that goes all the way down on pit road and forces the wreck into one?
Yeah.
That's what he was doing, basically.
Yeah.
That's why he got the finger.
I think Sam Mayer's got a ton of talent, and he's got to be careful who he gives that finger to. The bird to. That bird will get you in trouble.
Bird will get you. Finger's not so bad, but
Brett,
the bird.
let me,
The bird
you know what?
Bird could
Bird
change
get
your life.
expensive real fast.
Yeah. Brett, in Martinsville News, Sam Mayer gave Ryan the finger.
I'm sure Truex had a lot of trouble sleeping Saturday night after he saw Sam give him the bird. I'm sure he was very upset about that. But I mean, the mid pack of this Xfinity race felt like a truck race. Like,
What are you talking about?
my guy was
The
in
front
there.
felt like
the
front felt bad. I mean, we get the lead, we go into turn 3, and we're just clear. Here comes the plow on the 20. I mean, he just plugged it on in and drove it on in there till we hit. So,
did you get a flat?
yeah.
The one run you were backing up hard. I didn't know.
Yeah, we had luckily the caution came out because we were getting ready to pit. The valve stem got knocked out of it.
Gotcha.
So,
But I mean, it was rough. It reminded me of a truck race. We were not innocent. Chandler was getting hit, running into people.
no kidding. Color me surprised.
We were all over the place. But it was like kill or be killed back there where we were at.
the caution comes out and Josh goes, the boys are rough tonight. Like it went so good for a while too, didn't it?
Yeah.
I will say, the end of that race in the colleague cars, like what a race.
I can't wait to see Kraus. I'm going to kill him. Like he should have moved us 5 laps before he did. He couldn't do it. I was like, stop being nice.
This
Like,
is another
if
race.
Kraus had moved you,
Dude.
you know Chris Rice would have lost his mind.
Oh,
Hey, and this is another sign of a couple years ago, Derek hit everything on the track, and it didn't matter: grass, walls, dirt, cars, trucks, and you getting something that you can separate yourself a little bit out. And he runs, he runs competitive, and he's showing more of his talent.
Let me ask you this though.
No,
I want you to think about it. I want to ask TJ this question.
I don't think I want to answer any. Of your
We're 2
questions,
years
Brett.
into this new Cup car. Okay.
No,
Do you think it makes more sense to have 2 or 3 years full-time truck under your belt and go cup racing, or 2 to 3 years of Xfinity under your belt and go cup racing?
I don't think either one of the cars prepare you for the cup car like it used to. I don't know. I think the only thing you run any of these series is, which I would probably take Xfinity because you learn more with the car and how to race the racetracks. But I don't think either one of them really prepare you for how the cup car is. I think you get it. I think you run Xfinity to separate yourself a little bit, to get track experience, and that's it.
Which one do you think better prepares you
I don't
for
know.
cup?
I don't know that I kind of don't know that either one of them prepares you, but Xfinity for sure shows off a talented race car driver way more so than the Truck Series does. I think Xfinity,
Does the Cup Series
honestly, Truck Series probably prepares you better now for the Cup Series because it's all air racing. It's all aero. It's aero blocking. It's you can manipulate the air. But if you're a talented race car driver and you want to show off that you're a talented race car driver, you need to do it in the Xfinity Series.
I think the Truck Series would get you ready for the Cup Series more than the Xfinity Series right now.
Yeah.
Because to
The
your
problem is their
point,
schedule. They don't run enough and go to enough of the big. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that the Cup car, you can't show off how great you are in the Cup car. Like what Freddie just said to me makes all the sense in the world. You cannot show off how great you are in a Cup car right now, but you can in the Xfinity car. Well, the truck prepares you more for you can't show off how great you are than Xfinity car. So I think the way the aero racing is, the way Truck Series races, the restarts and all the things, I see as a person watching, not a person inside of the cockpit, I can see the Truck Series getting you ready. But I mean, like, look at Ty Gibbs, a phenomenal Xfinity Series driver. Guess what he didn't run? Truck races. Guess what he's not doing in the Cup car? He ain't impressing anybody yet.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like
I don't know that
you could take a Zane Smith, a guy that's been, and look, Zane Smith was on his way to being in a Cup car. He was Ganassi was going to take him Cup racing. Obviously, Trackhouse purchasing Ganassi changed that whole pathway. But I think you could put Zane Smith tomorrow in a sister car to Ty Gibbs, and I think he would outrun Ty Gibbs 7 out of 10 races because of his experience in the truck. And I may be wrong. We may not ever get to see that. But I think you can take a guy straight from truck to Cup like we saw happen with Kurt Busch. And we didn't see it very often back in the day. They made Greg Biffle go to the Busch Series at the time with a Granger car. And Kurt Busch they were calling them Killer Bees, Biffle and Busch. And Busch went straight from truck to Cup. But he was ready. Biffle was also ready, but that wasn't Jack's plan.
Did Carl go?
But you're
Carl, I don't know. He ran
remember.
both. I don't remember if he skipped or if he went straight to Cup full time. But Carl was obviously ready too.
I think he went. He might have went Cup full time and Xfinity full.
I think
He
they
ran
ran
Xfinity full time too.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But
AmeriQuest
you're
car,
kind of
like-
seeing it already, though. You're kind of seeing because Zane Smith is a full time truck guy and he gets the call. And yesterday, I know the results didn't show it because he had a speeding penalty, but he was running he drove up to almost 20th. He
In
might
that
have been
car.
20th.
The damn Smith family is like the hottest prospects in the sport right now. You've got Zane, Chandler, Sammy, the whole family's
Anybody named
coming.
Smith?
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my name to Brett Smith.
I mean,
Brett Smith's coming at you.
The whole family's coming.
But I don't know if you saw it. He speeds on pit road early in that race, and he's up to 20th, and he's in the area where if you can make it through that first run, and this will be my what an idiot later in the show here, if you can get through that first run, you're almost guaranteed. You're almost pretty much solidifying yourself on a layup because then from then on out, you line up in front of all the riffraff that's going to be lapped first next time, and he had done that. So I'm telling you, if he doesn't get that speeding penalty, I think he finishes 15th to 20th in that race. And to me, that's a successful run for him being in Martinsville as well in that car.
The way this may be off base. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. We won't know it for years. I probably won't even be here in years, but
Or next week.
The way that the models work right now, the Truck Series cost about half of what the Xfinity Series cost. To your point, TJ, they run less races. Obviously, that saves you money. Per race, there's typically some money to be saved versus running a full Xfinity car. And the modeling that we see is guys like Sammy Smith are coming up with money, right? Let's say Sammy's got $6 million. Well, if I'm Sammy, I'm going to go run trucks 2 years in a row for $2 million versus going to run 2 years in a row for $12 million all in for Xfinity, and I'm going to take that money my third year and go cup racing with it instead of spending all this money in Xfinity, which is what it takes. I mean, you need a legit $5 to $6 million budget to be a good Xfinity Series team. You don't need that much money in trucks. And I think watching how these cars race at the racetrack on TV, I think trucks and Cup are more similar than Xfinity. I think Xfinity Series is the best racing in the world right now.
But you're not going
everywhere we go.
It's super hard to get noticed in the trucks, though. That's the problem. But
if you got your own money, do you need to get noticed?
Half those races you're getting wrecked in because just how that series is. Half those races you're getting destroyed in. Xfinity, there's. I mean,
I gave you $20 million, how many years of Xfinity would you run?
What, 4 or 5?
So then you're out of money. I do.
But I hope I'm in Cup after that.
So Brett is referring to somebody who already has the financial support, can do what he wants, and how he would budget it, rather than somebody who has to prove himself to get to a certain point.
Then why isn't Ben Rhodes in the Cup Series right now? You know what I mean? Why isn't guys like Ben in there?
They stay too long in trucks, and once they stay too, look at why Justin Allgaier.
How do you stay too long if you don't have? I mean, if you don't have an opportunity to move up, what do you do?
That's the hard part. I mean, that's the formula.
It is kind of trending that way now, but like it's just hard because the stepping stones. You go to truck.
Chandler Smith is 20 years old. I'd put him in a Cup car tomorrow. I wouldn't leave him in Xfinity long.
Oh, I agree with that 100%.
Because he's obviously, in my mind, he's already outperforming to some degree his equipment. He's outperforming guys like Kyle Busch in similar equipment. So how many more years do you need him in Xfinity to prove he's Cup ready? When he just came out of trucks.
Yeah, I don't think.
And it's just it's all opportunity because
it is all opportunity.
Like John Hunter was Cup ready. John Hunter was Cup ready. He went Cup racing. Now he's made the best decision of his life to go back, win truck races. Now he's winning Xfinity races, and probably propelling himself to a better Cup ride at some point. But it's just like I agree with your assessment of that. The truck series is probably a better mold for going Cup racing.
If I'm looking right now, John Hunter, Sammy Smith, and Chandler Smith, and Freddie Smith, and every other body named Smith, they're all going Cup racing next year. I'm taking them Cup races. I'm telling you, they're ready.
If you're a Smith, sign
why
up.
would you stay in Xfinity?
Like if you're Chandler, there's no reason. Like I don't like.
If he has doors,
we said the same thing
open.
about Ty. Remember when Ty ran that extra year of Xfinity? Like he got behind. Like what he should have been in a Cup car last year because now you see he ran half the season probably in the 45, but you're seeing growing pains where he's not. Like you said, impressive in the Cup car. Like he got it. Like instead of getting him in there when everybody was learning the new car,
when everybody was new,
we put him behind half a season. So I don't know.
10 to 15 years ago, that was the path. You went to Xfinity and you ran 2 years of Xfinity, and then you were ready. But the cars were very similar. Had a lot of the same characteristics.
Very similar.
Very similar. You got in the Cup car, a little more power, a lot better drivers. It's not similar to that anymore.
Hey, did y'all catch that World of Outlaw race on Friday at I-55 where Macedo and Gravel wreck going for the lead? What do you guys think?
We were watching it on TJ's iPad in the suite during the rain delay. It was. It's interesting because at the beginning of the year I thought Sweet was going to have a challenge for the championship this year, and it was going to come from either Gravel or Macedo, which he's won the last 3 or 4 championships over there. And then this just takes Gravel's leading the race. I think it's looked to me like a racing deal. Like Carson slides it in there, and
he pinched him.
TJ's upset about
TJ
this.
thinks Brad had Gravel had a spotter that was telling him he was coming.
Yeah, he said, "Hold him down."
But it looked like a racing deal, and they just. I'm assuming he must have cut his left rear because it looked like he had a flat or something.
I think they both kept digging though.
I know Macedo did. I don't know about Gravel, but now that Sweet takes off, wins the race. I think, what did you say, Casey? The 6th time he's won at Peevely. Yep. So, turns out Brad Sweet's pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah, he's turned out to be a pretty good sprint car racer.
I got a question, Casey.
Yes.
Is Brad sweet?
He is very sweet.
He's got to be sweet. His nickname's the Big Cat. How do you?
And he's 5 foot.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to know.
He is.
Where does that come from?
He explained it somewhere, but I can't remember where. I think somebody.
Brad Sweet's a fun dude to be around.
He is fun for sure. I remember when John was working at the
Casey's
T-shirt shop.
John worked. Did you know that? Did you?
Well, when he showed up, because half the time he didn't show up.
Well, this was a time where he didn't show up. I think because
See, I told you.
went out. I forget what the hell we were doing going out. We ran into Brad, and Brad's like, I'm going to get John drunk and make him not show up for work tomorrow. And he did. So he is fun. But
Brad used to live here. Now he lives back in Cali, I think. But man,
listen,
he's I remember when he came into the Xfinity series, running some with Casey. I wish he'd had a better opportunity because he's a hell of a race car driver.
And they're doing a lot for the sport right now. Him and Kyle kind of started their own deal. I think it's the High Limit Racing Series, and they run weekday shows, I should say, for big money. They had one last week that was, I think it was $50,000 to win. Giovanni Scelzi won that. Rico was checked out, probably going to win the race.
Rico, I watched the race, and it started out where the bottom was good, and Rico fell back a little bit, and Rico did what Rico does. He said, screw it, I'm going to run the top. And then the top came in, and he drove all the way back to the front and was going to win.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm obviously friends with Tyler Courtney, and he was dominant for most of that day. He had set fast time, won his heat, won the dash, led the first 10 laps or so of the race, and looked like the bottom, like everybody's on the bottom. And then one restart, Rico just, the run he had off of 2 got clear.
Where the hell
where'd he
Tyler
come
Spotter
from?
was. Jesus. Yeah. I mean, damn.
So then the unfortunately for Tyler, he kind of follows him. Like as much as our racing is about air, so is theirs. Like the wings and stuff. Like you can take air away from a guy, and it's just hard to pass. And Tyler was following him, and realized like they were just breaking even. Like he wasn't catching him. He wasn't really losing ground. So then he's like, I got to try something different. So he goes to the bottom and slips up off the bottom, loses 2 spots. The yellow comes out, and Rico gets the flat on that yellow. So if he would have just kept following him for a couple, like you got to try something to win the race. But if he would have kept following him for another lap or 2, he probably inherits the lead and maybe goes on to win the race. But what they're doing there is, that's a good deal. Kyle's been outspoken about purses. He came out last year and said he was quote unquote boycotting the Chili Bowl because it doesn't pay any money. And now here he is. Somebody, people were like, well, put your money where your mouth is. And here he is. They're having a series. They got a lot of fun rules in there that they do. But these races are going to pay $50,000, and some I think are going to pay $20,000 to win. But
they do a choose.
They do a choose. I was texting with Wyndham on the side, and they were like, I seen him put a choose cone out. I'm like, does anybody else do this? Have I missed this in dirt racing? But they do it, and I thought it was cool. It made a difference in the race. There was some guys that said that like that's how they got to the front, was just because nobody's ever done it before, so nobody knew like, what the hell am I doing? Like, do I want this? Like, especially there, because the preferred groove changes. Like you could all line up on the bottom one restart, and then you all want to line up on the top the next restart. So thought it was interesting. It's definitely fun to watch. It's good work. I'm actually going to go to one in Kokomo in a couple weeks. Just go to Indiana, hang out with my buddies, and go watch them race. But
that's a small.
It'll be fun. But it's just something to do. I like that it's during the week, because obviously Kyle's got to run during the week. So it's something to do during the week. It's usually Tuesday or Wednesdays.
A pretty small track, and it's kind of oddly.
They wrote a
shaped,
song about it. Way down
I think it's a little bit different based off
next
of
to Aruba in Jamaica.
Yeah, they pretty much have a Taco Bell and a KFC.
But that race in Peevely was awesome. So I mean, if you guys haven't already, I know we had a code. I think what was it?
DBC 23.
DBC 23 to get your first.
They had
50%
to.
off.
Yep, they had to Knoxville this weekend, which I can.
Oh, wow.
And I think you can watch Knoxville weekly on there.
You can,
right?
yep.
They have a week. Knoxville has a weekly program they run every week, and you get that with your Dirt Vision subscription. So I mean, by all means, go get that.
And you get us for free.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
I'm glad they don't charge for us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would pay
I'm
for
not
that.
sure after this show that's going to be. It's still going to be on.
Guess we'll find out.
You're gonna see us crying, laughing.
You'll be able to listen to us starting.
Do they at least beep us out?
I don't know.
Are we get beeped out or not? Oh man.
But it is. I mean, it's the full show, so you'll want to watch it. You'll be able to catch this week's episode.
You'll watch
on
one
Wednesday.
You'll watch one World of Outlaw race on Dirt Vision. You'll be hooked on World of Outlaws because they're phenomenal. High horsepower, yawed out, driving off the right rear. You got young guys, old guys. Like, it's awesome, and it's about time that these guys had an opportunity to go out and make some big purses too. So shout out to Larson.
In a World of Outlaw race, you show up, it is in.
It goes.
Yeah. So check out their schedule too, and they run a ton of races a year.
It's like
all over the U.S. So.
I'd say 3 to 4 hour program, depending on what support divisions are there.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you can leave your house. I mean, you can get there at 6 and closer to 7. Honestly,
Yeah.
Watch a whole show in 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And Dirt Vision does a great job with the broadcast too. I feel like there's always something going on. They always have the up-to-date news. So be sure to catch Knoxville this weekend too. I'll be watching. What? Why are you looking at me?
Sup?
So
All right, let's move on to Reaction Theater.
My what an idiot this week was Casey Boat for picking Josh Berry to win a race that he's not even going to be racing in until I seen Carson Hocevar break rule number 1 in Landon Castle's book of learn how to wreck somebody without wrecking yourself. What an idiot.
I didn't know Landon Castle had a book.
I didn't either.
I'm still waiting for Landon to call me to tell me he's not running this year since I spotted for him last year.
Well, I learned a lot about threshold braking last week. So
I saw that clip. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about
Casey, here's my thing.
Here we go.
I got daughters, obviously, and I'm trying to keep boys away from them. And you're tweeting pictures of your little baby girl holding hands with some boy.
That was Bo Reddick.
You think it's cool, but ain't no way Chad thinks it's cool.
Casey's just trying to get in on the Reddick money.
No, I just thought it was a cute picture.
She's trying to move up in points.
She's trying to get up.
Actually, she's trying to move up in a series.
She's
She
moving
wants to go
series.
from Millbridge to Cup. That's quite the jump. We talked about going truck racing before you go Cup racing, and you're just going to pawn her off straight to the Cup field.
I thought it was a cute picture that the photographer took, and he said, you should remember this picture because one day they could be dating or
you
best
should have
friends.
kicked that photographer in the balls. That's what you should have done with
I
a
hate
photographer
you.
guy.
sounds like Casey's outsmarting you. Is what she's way ahead of you. She's living in the future.
It was a cute picture. Bo thought that Chloe's white hair bow was cute. So you know what? I posted
I've been
it.
with Bo at Hooters. You better be very careful.
This needs to be cut out. Okay.
Have I been with Bo at Hooters? Freddie?
Yes, we have.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
we know.
Okay. there
Was
we go.
Tyler
You
there?
are honestly the worst.
Tyler was there.
They're best friends. Let's leave it alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
for
we'll
the
leave it
record,
there.
thank you to everyone who decided to tweet, comment on my photo, send me messages about how I'm an idiot for picking Josh Berry. He's great at Martinsville, okay?
He
And
is
who
great
would
at
have thought that
Martinsville
he was
when
going
he's
to
in
be
the
that
race.
Chase is going to be back?
Well, when I told you he was probably coming back.
Whatever.
he
Move on to
probably-
the next call.
NASCAR, I'm going to need you to spell it out for me because I just sat through 7 hours of 3 rain delays and we didn't use the rain tires when we should have. I'm not no meteorologist, but it was a light drizzle when all those showers came and we could have used them and showed their true potential. At the beginning of the race, it was way too dry to use them. Use the rain tires.
The SUP said,
So
I thought we executed getting the wets on, and that worked out well.
maybe that's what Bo said to Chloe.
I can't
Sup?
remember. Somebody texted me this. I can't remember. I have to go
Sup?
back and look at it. But somebody's like, I feel like the reporters got a code word to use this week because he said
What was the code word?
Kudos.
Kudos.
Kudos. It was kudos to NASCAR for this great idea. NASCAR deserves kudos for. I was like, kudos for what? They like.
Hey, if anything, it just showed us that the rain tires are even better in the dry.
Yeah. Wow. Who knew if the tires wore out, the racing's better? That's crazy.
Well,
what an idea.
Denny said on his podcast that we needed a tire that wasn't like solid traction to the asphalt. Well, here we have it.
Listen,
Brought 'em.
that tire was great.
And you could probably burn it off.
NASCAR's in a little bit of a bind. Goodyear has a monopoly on tires in our 3 touring series. And if they bring a shoddy tire, we're going to see a shoddy race, and ain't a damn thing NASCAR can do about it.
And they have for years. You're going to have a perfect example of this when we go to North Wilkesboro, I think, because North Wilkesboro is going to wear out. I mean, I don't care what tire you bring there. It's going to wear out. So that's going to be a great race, in my opinion. And then we're going to see the potential of the car when the stuff works like it's supposed to. The tires are supposed to wear out. They're not supposed to last for, what was it, the one year? We could have ran like remember it was like you could have run the whole Martinsville race and then another like 5,000 miles
Yeah,
on your left
you
side
only
tire.
took less. You only took less because you had to wait for fuel.
Yeah.
That's the only time you would take
TJ
less.
and I used to be spoiled. We used to helicopter
We
in
didn't.
and out of all these
Oh, I was going to
racetracks.
say with tire wear.
And, well, we used to be spoiled with tire too. But North Wilkesboro, can we get back on the helicopter deal?
What they call
Are you renting it?
I mean, I might be willing to.
Tony's
TJ
prob-
already has
Hey,
a ride.
Tony's probably in a good mood. We should ask him this week.
We're going to need a helicopter to get
Denny
out of
has
there.
one.
Or camp. Yeah, Freddie. We're gonna. Denny's great.
I don't know. We were pushing him around a little bit yesterday. He might not be talking.
Oh,
What'd you get mad at
I
him
have that on. That will be discussed if you want to bring it up right now.
So if Denny listens, Denny, Freddie's a jerk to you, and I think you're great. Until after North Wilkesboro, then you're a jerk again too.
I don't even need a helicopter ride out. I don't think just in. It's
I
gonna
would-
be. It's gonna be.
I think I would rather have at least. I don't know.
It's gonna be.
If anybody has a helicopter,
Yeah, and 2 seats.
Or 1. TJ ain't gonna pony up.
No, I agree with 2. 2's fine.
Well, hey, what if another thing we probably need to?
I'm sure your guys got it.
What about shifting? We could maybe get rid of the shifting too. That'd probably help a
That
little
would
bit.
help for sure.
I don't think they'll shift at Martinsville. You think they will?
At Martinsville?
Are you
Oh, they
kidding
will
me?
for sure with that tire wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You mean Wilkesboro? Because you just
you
said
said,
Martinsville.
you said
Yeah.
Martinsville. You meant
I'm at
Wilkesboro.
North Wilkesboro.
Oh yeah, they'll be shifting.
Yeah, they lose.
They'll probably be
freaking-
in first gear.
So
You
should see in qualifying, there's so many different versions of shifting. You got the guys that right when they start braking, they shift right away. Like Briscoe's an early shifter.
Yeah.
Priest.
You got guys like Denny, Tyler Reddick shifts past the middle of the corner right before he throttles up.
Wow.
And he uses the shift to turn the car.
Yeah.
So, and then he hammers down. And when he hammers down, that thing looks like an RC car coming off the corner. Like you're sitting there going, squeezing the trigger, and he takes off.
Wow.
So, but it's weird to see the
differences.
The 23 is doing it, the 45, the 11's doing it. They're shifting super late down into the corner.
Yeah.
So,
What was Logano doing? He got lapped
running
twice
second.
yesterday.
Running second.
Is that the last call?
Welcome to Millbridge.
Last call.
Well, stage 1 just ended, and I got a message for all of NASCAR fandom. Been a fan of Chase for a few long years, but if I hear his name, I might disappear, and I will change my allegiance. This broadcast has done nothing but yap, and I'm pulling my hair out lap by lap, and I say, hey, shut up about Chase, yeah. Shut up about him, oh. Shut up about him. I said, hey, shut up about Chase. Don't make me root for Rick Ware or Kyle Busch, but I will. Shut up about Chase. Please, shut up.
That's a pretty good edit. Was that the 4 Non-Blondes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What's up or something?
Yeah.
That's the name of the song. Listen, like I said earlier, I would have been Chase Central yesterday because we already saw what he means to the sport in viewership. So I get it. I'm sure it's tiring, but
And Chase is a really good race car driver.
well, I'll tell you one thing I saw that was interesting, and I don't know if anybody actually watched qualifying on television. I assume Brett didn't. I seen that a lot of complaints about they didn't interview Priest, who sat on the pole.
That's insane.
Like,
Don't
how does that
speed.
happen?
How about get the? How
No,
No,
After qualifying, he's
on.
on the pole, and they didn't
after
interview
qualifying.
him.
How do you?
Like, how does
Who
that
gets
happen?
interviewed?
Surely they did.
Who gets interviewed then?
I've seen a picture of him doing an MRN interview, but I think like when qualifying ended, they just dipped.
No
And
way. No way.
I've seen probably hundreds of people, especially on my Facebook is more my personal account, so it's all my friends from back home.
I mean, yeah,
and of course
they would know.
blew up because they were all wanting to see Ryan because he's on his pole, got his first Cup pole, and they're like, "What?" They're bitching that they interviewed certain guys and not Ryan. So I'm assuming there was no Ryan interview.
Probably got Chase still, even though he wasn't in the top 10.
Yeah, I know they did Bubba. It was not sure.
Which leg was broke? Throttle leg or brake leg?
breaking leg?
Breaking
I
leg?
don't understand. Yeah, breaking leg. Which
So Talladega, he shouldn't have any problems.
Well, which is why I said he wasn't coming back Martinsville.
wrong.
Yeah, that would be false.
But I don't understand why he came back there. Like that's the most trying
Grueling.
race for that left leg, you know. And then I would have held him out of Talladega too.
I mean,
you got a broke leg, now you're gonna go to Talladega and race.
But
Like,
if he felt good and he's a race car driver, he's going to want to be in there.
I
So
get
if
it.
I'm guessing he probably made the
and
call.
the guy driving his car finished second the week before, so that probably didn't help.
Yeah. Well, let's continue.
Well, don't forget.
To go to
Just-
Millbridge.
You
We
can
should take a
leave-
shot every time you say it.
What's
Seriously.
going on?
Don't forget, anchor.fm/DoorBumperClear is how you get to send us a reaction theater message each week.
That song is gonna be stuck in my head. all
No,
day.
it already is.
I said, hey.
What's going on?
Today's Ask DBC is brought to you by Valvoline, the original motor oil. Don't forget to send in your questions on Twitter each week using hashtag AskDBC, and we'll answer the best ones. This first one is from John Newby. Brett proclaimed his Justin Bieber fandom on the very first episode of DBC. Is that still the case?
I feel like you had some ulterior motives to go to your first Justin Bieber concert, and then now you just.
What were these
now you're a
motives?
fan.
I love Justin Bieber.
Some of the fans.
What's your
that were
favorite
going-
song? Peaches?
That
or-
one.
No.
Never say never. I will never say never.
I'm sure I've heard a bunch of Justin Bieber songs.
Will Smith's son raps in that song.
Do you have his Christmas
Careful,
album?
that guy will slap the
I don't
shit
have
out
his
of
Christmas album.
Oh, that's a shame.
Has he got a Christmas album?
I think he's got some Christmas songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
you. I couldn't tell you.
Hey, you're
one.
welcome.
Silver Bell.
I'm sure I've heard a bunch of them, but I couldn't tell you one Justin
This
Bieber
Christmas at Brett's house is gonna be all Justin Bieber.
song. Oh, I'm not going this. That's
No,
the case.
well.
Oh, this next one is from Blake Rader. Who ate the most Martinsville hot dogs this weekend?
I think it's a tie. Did you have any?
Yeah.
You
I
did.
didn't have many, yeah. Who eats the most
I
up
had
there?
none. I don't know. Coleman came up with a whole bag.
Oh
at
my
one
God.
point.
Coleman came up and I said, damn, Coleman, you checking out the competition or what?
Oh yeah, 'cause his dad owns Celebrity Hot Dogs. Up
Yeah,
in,
I'm like, geez.
Asheville.
Trying to eat the competition?
Yeah, he had a whole bag. I can't. I mean, I don't know. They're probably good. I'm also.
I'm
trying to
kind of
watch what
picky
I
with
eat.
my hot dogs. I like to have all the condiments underneath the wiener. I don't like when you put it on top because it gets all in my beard. So I like to have the ketchup, the mustard, and the chili, and all the other condiments. I don't mind even cheese on a good hot dog.
You don't want
but
nothing.
I don't like them on top of the.
You don't want nothing on top of your.
I
wiener.
like good buns and everything else under the wiener.
How come there's not a good hot dog bun? All of them aren't.
You're right. There's some really
There's
bad buns
not
out
a
there.
good hot dog.
There-
I like a good
there's-
soft bun
With room for everything.
It's almost buttery when you bite into it.
Oh, yeah. Like the, you know who does that?
Who does it?
Dario.
So I need to go to Dario.
You need to go to Dario.
They
If
have
you want
buttery
to bite,
buns.
if you want to bite a bun,
100%.
Dario's your place. Apparently,
Yes.
Can we
100.
DoorDash
we can DoorDash anything
buttery
you want.
buns
Buttery buns
to the studio for next week?
I don't think.
Just make sure it's arranged correctly because I'm telling you, I don't like it on top.
Maybe when you get it, you can ask. I'm sure you can ask for all the stuff under the wiener when you get it, too.
That's what I tell them.
I've never
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
for
yeah.
this stuff. on
That's
the
how I
wiener.
order it.
I don't.
Put it all on the buttery bun first, and then put the wiener on top.
It's got, you will not be, you'll be impressed with Dario.
Okay. I love Dario. I go there all the time.
You haven't got the hot dog?
No.
Yeah, get the hot dog.
Okay. Done.
What's wrong? These fellas all looking at us laughing for
I
it.
don't know. I mean, talking about hot dogs, these perverts over here. I don't know what their problem is. Look at them.
Oh, looking. Like a deep.
All right.
This is a perfect segue into What an Idiot. Freddie, you've already alluded to a few, by all means.
I've got a page of what an idiot.
Okay, well,
for it.
should I? If you,
You
got a
go
bunch of them,
first.
just
Go
let
ahead.
me go because I'm going to give it to. It's so tough to do because he's a good race car driver and he's doing well. But damn it, Ryan Preece.
Oh.
I mean, you sit on the
Is
pole.
that his fault, though?
So
Dude, who's pushing the throttle?
But do you think he thought and was told he could go wide open out of his pit box to the line? Or
I
do
don't
you
know.
think
I don't know why you.
So if
why do you chance it?
If you listen to their radio,
I didn't.
when he speeds, they say, "Well, I guess that answers that." And I think they legitimately thought maybe it's close, because we know sometimes if you're within the first maybe 3 stalls, you can just throttle up off your box and you don't have to worry about getting a speeding penalty because you can drive through the line. You won't be at speed yet. They were obviously in that window. I got to look back
That
and see
math
what
is
stall
way
they
above
were
my
in.
head.
But why are you taking that risk?
That's exactly
Like,
the
you're
thing.
leading the
We-
race,
we weren't
dominating.
even close to the lead.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't listen. If the information
You're in the best stall already.
dude, I know. I'm hearing
It's
you.
not
but
even close.
I'm not saying it's not somebody's fault. I'm saying it's potentially not
Oh,
Ryan
that's right.
Preece's
He was
fault.
in the first stall.
But I'm
Right?
yes, yeah, he was
The
So
first stall was open.
It was the second
So we were in,
stall.
So
so
second
the
But he
pole
doesn't-
center was in the second box.
but he's still shooting straight out.
But if
And-
he's told, if I supply you with information and I tell you, TJ, you can leave your box, go hard as you want to the line, guess
So-
what you're going to do?
which I agree, but he still, he still pushed the throttle. I don't know if he went too far or not, but
If he was told he could go, that is on the engineer and the crew chief that supplied him with information. Who's crew chief on that car?
Chad Johnson.
what if he went
Chad
too
Johnson,
far?
very smart guy. Obviously, listen, man, I'm going to tell you all this. Ryan Preece, week in and week out, has been the fastest Stewart-Haas racing car. Fair?
Fair. Oh, Harvick's. Harvick
Yeah, I
and
mean
Preece.
Harvick was This
Priest has
weekend,
been kicking Amarola's ass and kicking Chase Briscoe's ass every week.
Yes.
Literally kicking their ass. So if you are supplied with information that says you can go, and you go, and then they say what Freddie said they said, which is, well, I guess that answers that. You can't go all the way to the line hard.
Yeah.
That's not on the driver.
So another part of this is Ryan is putting good cars a lap down, and in this scenario, he gets past Logano and he settles in. He doesn't force the issue with
Ross.
He was all over Ross.
He's all over him.
And these are guys that are gonna find their way back if you don't. To me, you put as many guys as you can. You get to Ross, and what would Ross have done if he would have got to you?
What is Ross's reputation, though?
Ross isn't going to wreck him. He's going to make it really hard to get around him. Ross isn't going to ruin
Could
his
cut
race
a tire,
over.
could run him on a curve.
Ross isn't going to. I think Ross just makes it super hard to pass because Ross knows that's not the end of his race, but he knows it's going to be a lot harder. But Priest probably could have got it. He got to him with 20 to go. In 20 laps, he's going to get somebody in front of him. I don't want to race Joey and Ross at the end of later in this race. I want to put them as far down as I can.
I mean, yeah, you keep Logano's a lucky dog and all the things, right? So, no, I mean, I don't disagree with you, but
You
also,
get as many as you can. I see what he was doing, but
you're
I
telling
think
him
you
to be
go.
smart leaving pit road, but you're telling him not to be smart lapping cars.
I'm saying pass a guy when you get behind him. You're better than him.
My what an idiot's easy. This may be a shocker to people who listen to
Hold
our
on.
show.
Wait, let me rattle some off. before
Okay.
we
Here we go.
Casey for picking Josh Berry. Good job.
But you just said that. Why would he come back? Why would Chase come back this week?
But I wouldn't pick the guy. You know.
I'm not even going to chance it.
There's a chance. IndyCar. We brought up IndyCar earlier. How about? And I don't know if any of you guys
You talking
see this
about
deal
the
at IndyCar?
curves, the turtles, whatever?
So, yeah, they take a rumble strip and just move it. Then after
Yeah,
practice, the
I
first
saw
day, they move it out a little bit, and the first guy that goes on the track hits this thing and looks like a torpedo, jumps flying through the air into the fence. And they interview him. He's like, "That was the same line I ran yesterday. Nobody told me that they changed the racetrack. I guess they went out there and moved this thing the night before and just failed
They
to mention
did, yep.
it to people."
Surely they put something out
happened.
there. Like if NASCAR makes a change, you get a.
Well, this guy didn't know. Clearly, this guy obviously didn't know because he just drove in there like there was no curbs there, and next thing he knew, he was in the fence. So, and he's lucky he wasn't hurt because he was literally flying through the air and landed
Yeah.
in the fence. That was my main one. And obviously, we're going to talk about another one here in a second. I got to give an honorable mention to whoever runs the Alpha Prime social media.
Wrong guy.
Did you see that deal with the Joe Graff?
That was funny.
Like they
Didn't they call out the wrong guy?
well,
or
they
something?
they called out Joe Graff for a caution, which is not hard to believe. But it turns out, like looking at the accident, Graff and the 43, which I think was Ellis, they kind of race each other hard down the front stretch, and I think maybe Joe squeezed him a little bit. Well, it looked to me like Ryan just kind of turned down on his quarter panel and hooked the both of them in the fence, and they're calling him out. So, like, maybe just let the drivers handle it and stay off social
That
media.
definitely happened. I went back and looked at it, and I think it was 78.
43 and
43
and
43.
38.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hung a left. As much as like Joe Graff does a lot of dumb stuff, he didn't do anything here. Like he just got clobbered. So, yeah, social media.
Let's go, Brett.
I just have to ask y'all one question before
Come
we
on.
get into this.
I got a page of notes on this one too.
Why did NASCAR?
Am I gonna want to leave?
No.
Not unless you're a
No.
Carson Hocevar
Why
fan.
did
okay.
NASCAR hold Carson Hocevar for 2 laps?
Did they ever say? I just heard him say hold the. We were wrecked and I was trying to get to pit road, but I heard him say hold the 42 for 2 laps. Did they give a reason?
I don't remember hearing something. I mean, I remember knowing why.
Why? Yeah,
but
we knew why.
I never
but
heard.
I never heard.
No. Tell me why. Because he only wrecked himself. So why, of all the dumb shit this kid has done for the past 2 years, he's parked on racetracks, he's right-reared people intentionally, he has changed the integrity of the truck series single-handedly. So why did they hold him 2 laps for wrecking himself?
Because I believe he was attempting to intentionally right hook somebody for the second or third time.
Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner. And this was. Listen, I mean, there's. I don't know what to say. I have nothing. I don't. this
NASCAR
kid-
mentioned they're going to evaluate this move this week. Do you think that
What
there will
move?
be-
Did he wreck himself?
that there will be further penalties?
He said he had a flat tire and it made him turn left. Are we buying that?
No.
No.
I don't. I mean,
No.
yeah.
Fuck no, I ain't buying
And
that.
Kyle Larson's
Carson
steering was broken.
Hocevar
He
is
drove to the truck.
single-handedly fucking up the truck series. And I love to watch the truck races. I do not care to ever spot another one. I am getting close to not watching anymore if he continues to make a mockery and ruin the integrity of that series because they're letting him do it.
Listen, I don't know if it was on TV, but probably 5 minutes before that incident with Taylor, whichever grade, Taylor grade, I think it was.
It's Taylor, yeah. I think.
He tried to wreck William Sawalich.
I saw it.
So
do you know how many hours of my life I spent on Friday night watching the truck race to watch one fucking idiot ruin the end of it?
Probably about as many as Andrew's going to spend editing this show.
But do you understand how many hours I spent watching this truck race for this idiot to go and ruin the end of it and bring out a caution trying to right rear another guy?
Yeah, I mean,
I almost threw my fucking phone at the television. I was so mad.
Were you in the RPG room?
You're supposed to send me a
I
thread.
was in my living room on my big TV.
You'll have to send me a thread. That thread you were talking about, it's got one.
Check your damn message.
I didn't see it. But listen, I mean, right reared people 2 or 3 times. He intentionally wrecked the guy at Richmond to try and stay on a lead lap. Has spun out and caused cautions. I don't know what 3, 4 times. Listen, last I checked, and I got a lot of shit for this last year. I tweeted Bubba's penalty for right hooking the guy is unprecedented because it hadn't happened before. Plenty of guys had right hooked people and never got penalty. He was one of my examples. Here he is again doing it, and his penalty's 2 laps. Like we had to sit out for a week. And his penalty's 2 laps.
Denny is accused of changing the outcome of a race for wrecking a guy, and he's fined and he's fined points. But we're not going to do anything to this guy but make him sit out for 2 laps.
And 2 laps of a race, he's already taken himself out of contention in.
He legitimately probably didn't even lose 5 spots for being penalized 2 laps. You know why? Because the race never went back green.
Yeah, I mean, listen. You could talk about size. Of
who
the
runs the
racetrack.
truck series?
The series director is Seth. I don't remember his last name at the moment. I think he's a series director.
I don't know. Somebody's got it. Listen, Carson Osavar. 3 years ago, I was like, man, this kid's good. He's fast. He's going to have a chance to win races, and I still think he will. But he's not in great equipment. He's in okay equipment, and he's out here coming off his first win, has a chance to change the narrative, has a chance to build a brand, and he goes out here and pulls this same chicken shit move he does 3 times a year. I am so over this guy.
And listen, here's
Go to that link,
here's the thing. Another thing, like, so he's been doing a podcast, right? I think it's him, Weaver, and Kevin Swindell started a podcast, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So I was like, it sure will be interesting to hear what he has to say about this. Well, guess what he did?
Steering broke.
No, he decided now it's time to reevaluate his decisions. He's going to step away from the podcast for a little while. So it's just like, what do you do? Like, you can't look any worse than this. And here's your opportunity. You can come out on your own platform and go, listen, I screwed up, yada, 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 whatever. Make excuses, whatever you want to do. But now you're just hiding from it. Like, get over it. Like, what the are you doing? Like, just.
It's pretty
Any
good.
other wooden idiots?
I mean,
Do you have any cases?
Seth-
I would like to
Grabbage.
congratulate the
That's
2009
not an idiot.
Formula One champion,
JJ.
JJ Yeley.
You see
I'm
this?
so sorry you missed it. We must be idiots for not seeing that earlier.
Brett?
What?
JJ Yeley,
Yeah, the graphic they put for JJ Haley
No.
2009 Formula One champion.
Where was that at?
on the
Fox.
screen.
On the
During
broadcast.
qualifying, I think it was
Wow.
practice, qualifying, one or the other.
I mean, shout out to JJ. That is
Dang.
an
I
accomplishment
mean,
right
that is
there.
pretty big. I don't know how I missed that.
Oh, let's move on to DBC Picks, which continues our Wooden Idiot segment here. Who won this week? Andrew?
TJ appearance.
He beat me
Yeah,
by 1
TJ won.
spot. I picked last week or something like
You
that.
did not win, Casey. I know that.
I assumed that would be the case.
The thing is, Truex didn't beat Denny all day till it mattered.
He was
I guess.
hauling ass at the very end.
Yeah.
Like, he was behind. He started, like, talking about not being on the pass. He started like 12th to 13th and drove to 3rd in that last run.
Oh boy! So Colleague Racing has their final appeals this week, going into Talladega. They're taking it to the top guy. I don't know who the top guy is. Do y'all know who the top guy is?
It's one guy that won't be in the panel.
So one guy makes a decision on whether or not those penalties are upheld. I know y'all probably
and,
talked about it
and
last
Denny,
week.
And Denny said that in this scenario, the case flips now. Like the first appeal, NASCAR has to prove their case. And then you get, like, essentially Colleague is like the defendant of, just
Yeah.
and now this appeal, Colleague has to prove why they're right, and NASCAR is just there kind of defending their case. So it'll be
Okay.
interesting to see how
So with NASCAR making the rule change that if they issue a points fine from here forward, points have to still be fine no matter what. Is that still in? Is that in play for Kaulig? Given no.
That was from I think Richmond on.
Okay,
so
anything before that?
Yeah.
So Kaulig has a chance here to get all their points back for the 31 car.
Yes.
Do we think? And I'm sure y'all talked about this last week. Do we think that it's fair that NASCAR in the middle of the season changes that rule? Because they just gave Hendrick 400 points back, and if you get fined points and you prove you're innocent, you still have to be fined points.
No, if you prove you're innocent, they can determine at any point now they can take your points away. What they're saying is you can't. They have to take everything away. So they're saying you can't take points away, but keep the fines. Like you can prove innocence and get all your points back.
Okay,
but you have to get your fine and suspensions back.
So
also.
Racing got 25 points back, and from now on, you get them all back, or you get nothing.
Yes, you get if you like, and I think that they can adjust a window of points. But if you if you're determined to be innocent. Everything's erased. You know what I mean? They can adjust points, but they can't go, okay, you can have all your points back, but your fines and suspensions stay. Like, I think there's a window, like you can, same thing. You could do 25 points or something less.
Yeah.
But if they determine you're innocent, you get everything back.
Okay.
Fines, points, everything.
All right. So, Talladega, who's picking first?
Me, and I'm stressing.
Oh.
So I opened it up to Twitter, and
you letting Twitter make your picks now?
yes.
They coming to dinner with us?
So I thought maybe Stenhouse or Austin Dillon. Denny said I should pick Eric Jones, who I was going to save for, well, I'm not going to say anything there. But I'd pick Eric if Denny's going to pay for our dinner if I lose this year. But I'm not really sure about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something Denny has got that we don't have.
What?
Money?
How did you know? He's got a speakeasy for a freaking podcast set.
Oh, here we go
Helicopter.
again.
Helicopter. We don't even have fucking air conditioning in this building.
He has a basketball court in his
Andrew
house.
doesn't know that. You wait till you get midsummer right here, Andrew. We come
Denny
in here on
pretty
Monday
much
morning. It's
has-
98 degrees with 100% humidity outside.
Denny pretty much has
You're going to want more
everything.
than a hot dog.
Glad you said hot dog this time.
Buttery buns. Anyhow.
I don't know if I should take Eric or Stenhouse.
Jesus, make your pick.
Oh, Andrew's saying I should take Stenhouse. But I really have high hopes that Denny's going to pay for dinner. So
Because I think I know what track you're saving Eric Jones for, and I think
yeah,
that
but
would be a
I
good
could
decision.
still lose and then not be
Darlington
able
is
to
where
win.
I mean,
What's why would you
Let's
say
act surprised.
Why?
Oh my
I know.
goodness.
Really surprised, Casey. None of us knew you were saving him for
Guys,
Darlington.
at least I have wins this year. Let's just.
Make
We
your
all got
pick,
wins.
Casey.
Oh, Denny, you're paying for my dinner if I lose this year. I'm taking Eric.
All right.
Who's next? Me?
Yep.
The 9th place finisher, yeah. Picked yourself.
I'll take Corey LaJoy.
Todd Gilliland.
Well, that went completely the opposite way that I wanted it to go. Wow, I wanted the joy.
That's a good pit, Brett.
Yeah,
Brett.
that's kind of.
I had a good pick last week. TJ beat me.
Well, oh man, I don't want to use him.
Isn't
yet.
Zane Smith driving a 38 this week?
Zane's in the
Oh,
race.
he is driving 38.
Austin Hill.
I have no idea if he is.
Austin
you're right,
Hill's
he
in
is.
the.
I'll take Zane Smith.
Nope, he already made his pick. We didn't
Oh
let
my
him go
God,
back
we
on
let
him.
you remake your pick. Don't even
Hey,
know
listen,
that.
Gillen's in the race though.
He
What's he
is in
driving?
the race.
He's
What's he
driving.
driving?
He's Rick Ware. car.
Yeah, Rick Ware.
Oh God! You know what? I'll ride the Rick
The
Ware
Rick
train.
Ware train.
I'll ride the Rick Ware train.
All right, I'll take Zane then.
and I'll ride the Gilliland guy.
I'll take Zane because I wanted LaJoy.
I was kidding. I didn't.
Wait,
Oh,
are
you're
we
right.
sure that Zane
You're right,
Smith is
though.
running?
You're right.
Zane Smith's in a 38.
Okay, I was.
Yeah.
This was one of the races.
I was joking, but
Yeah, Todd Gilliland. He's my guy.
This could be a Noah race too.
Who spots for Todd Gilliland this weekend?
Barkdahl.
You say he's in Barkdahl.
I would think. I don't
Can
know.
I change my pick? I'm kidding. I love Steve Barkdahl. He listens to the show. That's the only reason I said that because he knows I'm a smart ass, and I figured I'd be a smart ass.
We need to. We did. There could be another what an idiot.
Are you gonna say Bubba?
No, but damn. We all so there's different places to park at Martinsville. We've been parking at this other lot right up the street on the little walk-up road. Everything inside the track. I mean, even all the lots on the right when you're walking up towards Josh's grandma. Cop cars blocking all the exits. They held every lot for 45 minutes.
Wow.
It felt like Michigan all
Where'd
over
you park?
again. past
Oh,
the
you par- I
souvenir
know
deal
where
there.
you're at. Yeah,
but they've never held anything there. All the lots were held for 45
Dude,
minutes.
they changing traffic patterns for industry people is a
That
nightmare.
year we were
in Michigan. Oh
that year
my
we were
God.
driving around the infield of Michigan. I was going to
That
kill
was so
somebody.
bad. I'm literally nervous to go back to
I
Michigan.
had a train
because
of
that.
people following me around too because
And he got through the gate right like the
I
last
hate him.
one.
I hate him.
I know. I was hoping he got arrested
That
so
was
bad.
experience.
Good. You just didn't listen.
Yeah. Experience. Just keep.
Well,
I'm
they
like,
can only stand in front of one car at a time.
it was mine. I'm like, if the guy wasn't standing in front of my car, it was a sheriff. I'm like, the cop is standing at my emblem on my hood, and Brett just right by me and out
God,
the
it's
gate
so
while the guy's
bad.
standing there yelling at me. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
So we're sitting there in that line waiting, and the guy comes up. Oh yeah, sorry guys, there's just been a miscommunication here. I'm like, you think? The one race I can be home before 9 o'clock.
What do you think this race is like this weekend? Because I was on a scale of 1 to 10 Daytona 500 disappointed. I was pretty far up the scale. I'm praying this is a good race.
It's not going to be any better. It's not going to be any different. Like
So the third line will not form at any point
I don't think so.
and have momentum. So we're gonna have a track that's capable of 5 wide super speedway racing, and we're gonna look like ducks going to a pond 2x2.
I think so. Like unless you
Yeah.
get 3 even lanes rolling at one point, like you're never gonna. You know how you like if you start like I think it was last year, or the year before. We like all the Toyotas got a penalty on the grid, so we all had to go to the back. So all you do is just align yourselves together, jump to the third lane in turn 1, and you can roll literally to the top 10 without blinking an eye. It's not possible now. Like you got to have half the field go with you. Just split the lanes evenly. It's just we can't get 3 wide with this car.
This is going to be another race where people are going to watch it and they're going to hate stopping for the payout of stage breaks.
Oh, yeah.
It creates the whole OEM strategy and all the things. Obviously, Chevrolet in the qualifying races, they got outsmarted.
I know it's not racing,
But it'll be curious. I'm curious to see how this race plays out. I really hope that we see better racing than what we've seen because the cars are too tough. What do I mean? Well, I mean, you knock the crap out of each other and you don't knock the radiator out. So what do? You just hit them harder. I don't know. I've got higher expectations for this week, and I hope I'm not disappointed on Monday when we come back in here.
yeah, we'll see.
I'm not.
Well,
I'm not
before we
optimistic.
close out the show, I obviously need to ask Freddie, what in the world happened with Bubba and Denny that Bubba was so frustrated with Denny on track?
Same thing. That was happens in Martinsville. One guy moved the other guy, so the other guy was mad and he was going to move him back.
We
What-
got into a Denny a little bit
What-
earlier on.
So
What
Denny-
was said on the radio?
Nothing.
Just let him roll.
Yeah. I mean, Denny caught us. We were holding him off for, I don't know, 5 or 6 laps or so. I don't think Denny did anything intentional. We kind of got a little chain reaction there. He got into us. We got into Priest. He got into us again and really shot us up the racetrack. And then Bubba was obviously upset. We're racing for our life at that point. You're like lead lap. There's a big difference between everybody's like, well, you're in the lucky dog spot, but there's a big difference between being on the lead lap and being the lucky dog because you start in front of all the lap down cars if you're can maintain that lead lap position. And we were doing it. We talked about how hard it was to pass last year there. Bubba held off Chase Elliott for like 50 laps as we were on tail and lead lap. So we're maintaining our spot, and he kind of boots up the racetrack. So Bubba just went in there and gave it back for about 6 corners in a row. But that's what you're just trying to race to get your lap back. And listen, Danny has made it clear to us that we're not that they're just another race car. The 23 is just another race car to him. The 11 is just another race car to us. Obviously, we're not going to do anything out of control. Like Bubba's not going to go in there and wreck him, but he's trying to move him to get his spot back. And that's how we race. Danny said if it comes down to the end of the race, I expect you not wreck each other, but we're going to race the hell out of each other for whatever it is. And that's just the motto over there, the mindset of, it's weird because we went out, me and Tyler went out for a little bit last night, and he's like, I'm glad to hear you knocked him around too, because I think I screwed him up one time. He's like, I kind of got tight on his on his fender off of 4 and got him loose, and he got split 3 wide behind me. He's like, oh, he's like, so poor Danny's out here getting run over by both of his cars. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is, man.
I
It's
mean,
racing.
and honestly, in the Xfinity race, the 18 and the 20 going at it too was.
we've
I
seen
don't-
that deal at Martinsville last year. Didn't they all wipe each other out? That's probably why.
Yeah, but this was good. This didn't get to that,
Yeah.
so it was good short track, and that's what you go to see.
And I
right?
thought on that point, like I thought that the truck race and the Xfinity race, even the Cup race was kind of boring, but the truck race and the Xfinity race, them guys up front ran at the end, I should say, fairly like in years past we've seen
clean.
just go clean the guy out and it'd be done with it. Now
Yeah,
it
it's
was-
turned
it was
into that a
fairly
lot,
clean.
but it didn't do that this time.
Kudos to them.
Truck race probably would have got the way, but they didn't get a chance.
Which OEM's going to be the fastest this weekend? Talladega, because we always see one.
Well,
that's
it's
faster.
I don't know that it's fastest, but the Fords always seem to work the best. Obviously, they've got speed, but they always seem to work the best, pushing and lining up and controlling the race. Like you see the Penske cars always, and then now Brad's cars are up there doing the same thing. So they just work the best together. Toyota doesn't have strength in numbers.
I'm not commenting on any of this.
Toyota doesn't. We have to kind of do what everybody else does. We don't have enough cars to like kind of control anything, but we get up front and can control a line if we're leading it. But it's hard for us to kind of make progress that way.
Be interesting. You guys going on infield at all? It's a fun one. Anybody big playing the concert there?
Isn't it Cole?
I think
Swindell?
Cole Swindell's playing.
Oh, that's awesome. How do you not have at some point the guy who sang the song about Talladega
Eric Church.
play at Talladega?
Dude, that'd be so cool.
I mean, he wrote a song and sang a song about Talladega, where he was raised up with whiskey on his breath.
I think you got to get your pocketbook out for him, though.
Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure they got a damn big pocketbook, Andrew. But they're in the check cashing business, not the check writing business. I think Eric Church has got to come play that song before the race. Give him a couple $100,000.
Can you play it after the race?
I think the
leaving.
concert is
He
Saturday
could play
night.
whatever
It's
he wants to play.
always
It's his
Saturday
song.
night.
I think Sunday night would be a
But
great
I'm not gonna
time.
lie, Cole Swindell is probably one of my favorite artists, so I'm on board with having him at track.
I bet
support
Cole
it.
would come on this show if he's ever in Charlotte on a Monday.
We need to make it happen.
Yeah, he would go.
Make it happen. Him and Blake, bring it back.
I ran into them guys at Bubba's one day. We FaceTimed some of the Braves players because I had all my Mets shit on, so we were talking a bunch of trash.
Yeah.
The girls. Oh, so we're at Bubba's house, and we're like, I don't know, it must have been like Memorial Day. I think it was after the 600. So all the guys are outside playing games or whatever. Who knows what the hell we were doing. All the girls were inside doing whatever they were doing. Next thing I know, like, here come all the girls outside. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're obviously awkward about it. Like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, what the hell? And they're all like peeking around corners. I'm like, what is going on? And finally Megan's like, Cole Swindell's here. And he just walks around the building. I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Now I know why the hell you're all out here.
Oh,
Like, go back
girls come out,
inside.
yeah.
I'd be right there with them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget the TV show streams on Wednesday, only on Dirt Vision. DBC fans, it is free to watch. All you need to do is register. And of course, you have our YouTube page. Leave us a like, a comment, tell us what you think, and have a great week.
We out.
Word.
Sup?
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 SVP.
Sup?
That might be my close from now. Sup?
That's what I'm gonna.
Guys.
That's how I'm gonna start the show next week.
Sup?